towards the goal line. Homer can get back and recover under some pressure from Bolton. Long ball out, Johnson in front, didn't mark it. D'Ambrosio getting involved here with Barris. Amos over the top, back for Barris. He coughs it up too. Good pressure, Fremantle. Switkowski returning to the lineup. Now Johnson looks inboard, wants a target, and finds one in Amos at the top of the square.
So great pressure from the Dockers. That's been another thing that hasn't been a feature across the last couple of weeks. Even in their wins, their pressure's been down a little bit, but much better pressure. And then Johnson, I thought, was really smart to carry the ball here. Sometimes you're entitled to blaze away. Has a good look inside, and Amos was there.
Amos been under some pressure with his form in recent weeks too. Only one goal across his last 4 games. He's kicked 1 goal 4, and he's on the verge of a milestone in his goal-kicking career. DJI steps up to the plate for the 100th of his young career so far.
Not sure if it was good forward pressure or just sloppy ball movement from Hawthorn. I mean, Sicily throwing his weight around before the game against Voss, and Voss, first opportunity he gets with the ball, he delivers a kick like that. It's difficult to rebound out of your back 50 when you're under the pump like that. So as much as it was good front half defence from Fremantle, sloppy offence from Hawthorn.
4v3, wasn't it? You're right. Didn't quite work out the number of X, and really nice centre pass there from Johnson.
Amos with the goal. From Bustleton down in the southwest, and becomes the 3rd fastest for Fremantle to 100 goals. Medhurst took 52 games, Walters 53 games, and now the 64th game for Amos gets there. As Tracy took 70. Matthew Pavlich, who did start back a little bit longer than that, who went on to kick a few as they go inside 50 again. It's chopped off by the Hawthorn defence.
Appreciate the mention. Perhaps the really interesting battle is going to be Luke Jackson. So now he's drawn really Nash, who we all thought was going to go to Sarong. Is that 50, is it? Okay, so there's a hold off the play. It might have been Chol or Brennan Cox. So Caleb Sarong will get the ball.
Rio fans certainly happy with that as they realise the ball was going to be advanced to where the footy was when the infraction happened, and then Sarong goes with a low kick in, perfect execution. But they've struggled for marks inside 50 as a rule this season. The Dockers have got 2 very early on in this one as Bolton lines up.
It's early days, but the Hawks just aren't switched on. As much as Fremantle have done the right things, been very predictable for the first 3 or 4 minutes, but Hawthorn haven't got off the bus at the moment.
Only average 10 marks inside 50 a game, Fremantle, which is one of the lowest returns in the league. And now Bolton, their star recruit in the off-season. A chance for the first 2 for the Dockers in the game, but hooks it across. And it's knocked back into play by Tracy. It stays alive. Newcomb had some options. He decides not to rush it through because he would have conceded the deliberate there, and it's a great kick under pressure with the outlet to Moore. And we're going to get a stop, and just to check at the score review now that we've got a stop in play, albeit Hawthorn were away.
Yeah, they were out. It was a brilliant kick from Newcomb. We'll get the score review, but
they stop it there because it's a mark, and it's where you could stop the play. Just to see if it did go over or not.
Review complete.
That's a good review.
Looking at this angle, when set balls across the back of the behind line. Decision on the scoreboard.
So that ball goes through, and so it will be a behind. Every score certainly matters. Those seconds that ticked off the clock will be adjusted in the run, so we won't lose that time.
So very early days, but Sarong up to 4 disposals.
Ball sent long. See the clock just took a little bit longer to reset and restart there. A great mark taken by Chapman. And Fremantle look like they're on early. All the territory, most of the possession. Pressure game. Looking to move back into the top 8. It's Clark. He will go and look for another target. Tracy there. Knocked it out of the hands perhaps of Jackson. Newcomb down low. Watson over the top of it.
So the interesting thing with Jackson playing midfield, Nash goes to him, Sarong gets off the chain a little bit, and then at some point Jackson will end up either, by the looks, I think, forward here.
Darcy and Meek knock up. Switkowski tackled by a couple.
Well, Jackson's still roaming around the ball. It's only, 5 minutes in, so 4 minutes in, so You reckon he's got maybe a 7-minute stint here, Simo?
Yeah, well, look, let's see how this plays out first, but it does look like there's no real matchups just yet with Ward maybe going to Sarong.
Hawks work it by hand, away, eventually Ambrosio, that left leg tucked up on the boundary line, turns it over. Fremantle well set up down the line, and Brennan Cox, the intercept.
Yeah, Wagner was pleading for the ball. He's finally getting it, but Cox could have released it a bit earlier.
Switch things up. Back for Clark. He's enjoying a bit more freedom than he did last week in the early stages. Brayshaw. Back to Brennan Cox. Up the line they go, but turn it over. Showed too much of it to McDonald.
They both teams a little bit wasteful. Hawks in particular in the first part of this first quarter, but that one's turned over as well.
And the Hawks get something going forward. Luke Ryan up to meet it. Double fist away to the boundary line. A little milestone for Luke Ryan tonight as well. A reliable defender for the Dockers. Plays his 100th consecutive game. Only the third player at Freo to do it behind Matthew Pavlich again at 160 and David Mundy at 124.
Stop inserting.
Hang on, I haven't done any of this.
Have slipped me the notes. As the ball's knocked down, Jackson after it. O'Driscoll in there. Newcomb, Warple on the boot. As it goes inside 50, bouncing footy, went past Dear. Chance here for Hawthorn. Ryan after it. They swarm in there, the Hawks. As it dragged back in, have a good long look. Just spilt out, perhaps. Lots of other bodies in there to hold it up, and Gunston was wanting a free kick.
You know Jack Gunston very well, Simo. He's had another great year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plenty of goals, particularly in recent weeks. There's Jackson in there, O'Driscoll into ground, McDonald.
It's actually been a real bonus. They desperately need him at the moment to stand up. I think even Sam Mitchell will be surprised about what he's delivered.
Jackson and Meek straight down the throat of Newcomb, bounced off a couple, flung the handball out. Clark is there, O'Meara, former Hawk out there playing for the Dockers, and Ryan to O'Driscoll with some run and carry. Up the line, what a Tracy, Barris in front. That'll be a good matchup.
That matchup's been in different colours for Barras over the years, so they know each other quite well.
What's the record, do you think?
I don't remember.
Sure?
Probably should remember, but I don't. I've blocked out the last 3 years.
It's a good matchup for Tracy, is Barris. I don't know either. I should probably go back through the notes, but it's a great matchup. I think it's the right matchup for the Hawks tonight as well.
Now with Impey settling into it a bit more now, Hawthorners. They go to half forward. Good strength from Chol. And to throw Brendan Cox out of the way. He'll send it into the pocket. The kick to the advantage of Gunston. McDonald's down there for Fremantle. Back into the side this week with Alex Pearce missing with soreness after one game back.
Newcomb with already a couple of clearances and 4 hand passes. A lot going on the ball. Look at all those blocks just at the front of your screen there. Moore getting free.
Johnson taking a big tackle by Meek. There you have it. Arm free. Yep. Holding the ball is the call. No prior in there, but we have seen that free kick paid pretty consistently across the last few rounds.
It was aggressive too, wasn't it? It was a bit of a statement. Obviously, past player.
They've been such a good player for the Hawks, Lloyd Meek, particularly over the last 18 months or so. Let's have a look. Did he get an arm free?
It's the one arm rule that seems to have crept in this year. That's your prior if you've got the ball with one hand. So
which is a tough ask when you've been taken to ground.
I suppose it's been consistent for most of the year.
It has been, and it's a big kick for Lloyd Meek. Left Fremantle in the 2022 trade period. Jager O'Meara came back the other way, and as he lines them up, he'd love a goal, but it's just to the near side. Chance goes begging there.
Feels like they've just settled a little bit. With a couple of contested marks always helps to settle the game. There's no speed in this game at the moment. It's a bit of kick mark at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of control out there, a lot of composed possession. Control with that nice mark a little while ago. That almost went out in the full from Ryan.
Mayfield just able to mark it inside the field of play. The Dockers will try to construct something. Oscar McDonald just a bit tentative with the kick, but a good pick-up by Brennan Cox. And a long ball to the wing. Battle wins it.
Rain's just started to fall, so you can see everyone getting their ponchos.
Including Kath Opman down there as well as the kick goes half forward. Pack up Dear trying to take the mark over the top. Near in there was dispossessed in the tackle. Spills Hawthorn's way, needs a clean pickup. Ginnivan was good. Got it to Newcomb. And the kick for Warple's a beauty across to Ward. They open it up to the pocket, and Gunston on the lead. That was brilliantly worked by Hawthorn.
Just two really good passes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the ball in the right player's hands, and the Newcomb kick on the left was a beauty.
He's likely leading to that too, wouldn't you? And he's done it so well over his career. It's probably his best strength is his timing. He's not the quickest player, the quickest forward, but his timing is elite, has been for probably 15 years.
Warple it was on the left. Beautiful kick.
Having a terrific season, Jack Gunston. He's had too many shots from this point through his career. Doesn't matter though at all. And his fine form continues.
How does he learn that, Pat? Is that something that's innate in a forward and through your junior career, or do you learn that particular skill? Because he's
always been good at it.
So good, Jack.
Yeah, I think that's always been a great strength of his game. I think right now he'd be drawing back towards the goal square there, and he actually goes a little bit, before probably the kicker was ready, which is okay when there's that much space. If you go too early when there's not enough space, you chew up your ground, and you actually make it really hard for the kicker to do exactly as that one was laid into his spot. But he got in behind Ryan and then shot out the other side, so really good forward craft.
And that's the reason why, as a forward line, you do like the ball on that fat side of the ground. If you can get it from one side to the other, you get that space to lead into, and you can time your run a little bit better.
39 goals this season for Jack Gunston. His best return in 7 seasons. He's having a terrific campaign. There's a free kick in the middle.
Well, this will be interesting tonight too, the second ruck situation for Hawthorn versus an A-grade ruck.
Jackson will send it long. Deep inside 50. Voss cleared a path. Tracy took the mark, but that bump from Voss spotted it. It was just a little bit too early before the footy arrived.
I thought the free kick was against Tracy to embarrass, but Voss went too early, as you called, perhaps. Just getting a little bit caught up in those long down the lines, or the held entries, the Dockers, not separating. The key forwards. Here's the push. There he was there.
Ball up the wing. If the Dockers go to ground, it's over and out again.
So the clearance battle, Simo, we talked about it pretty much even at this point in time, how crucial that Justin Longmuir on screen there, watching it very closely. He wanted it to be at least even. They've been poor, particularly against the Saints a couple of weeks ago here, and then the Swans last week started really poorly.
Nash in the ruck opposed to Jackson.
Actually surprised they're not putting a lot with Sarong with their system at the moment, not the tag, and so far it's probably Sarong would take that, wouldn't he, after what's happened the last few weeks.
Same as you saw with the knee tackle on Johnson there. The free kick for holding the ball paid as Frederick goes in. Trying to really find a target. That low kick into the pocket. Battle goes. Frederick led it nicely. And they keep it locked in the forward half for the Dockers.
As a midfielder, if you are getting run with week after week, and then you get that little bit of pressure valve relief. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm
a little surprised Sam hasn't done that tonight. He's got his reasons, obviously, with Jackson and Nash.
Jackson to the front. Sarong in his path. Kenzie trying to close him down. Johnson there. McDonald's.
You look at different stats throughout the week, you value different things, and obviously the metrics say and suggest something different.
Brayshaw hit it on the burst. Frederick just got clear. Sends it in towards Voss, but Sicily, he dropped the mark, then was taken high. Voss a little overzealous with the attack, as he can be at times.
Yeah, and it's one thing to stamp your opponent and say, right, I've got you today, James, and put him under pressure. The other thing is just to do it in a way that isn't reckless. It was high. That's a nice kick.
And that's the second free kick he's given away, Voss. So
it's got to go the ball sometimes.
Aggressive with the foot skills and the run and carry. Nash, McKenzie, just got past Tracy. Tough tackle to break. He did it well, and inside 50, Ryan. Boy, tried to intercept. Watson did enough to knock it out of his hands. Gunston after it. McDonald too. As Morrison there, he was looking for the high tackle, and in fact it's holding the ball.
Pretty hot start for both sides now. It hasn't really settled, and the conditions, I don't think we're going to see a pretty game tonight. I think it's going to be pretty rough and tough.
And Free have actually had their fair share of games this year in the work. Think about the Suns, a couple of games here against North.
Kick towards Tracy. It's a little shallow. Newcomb did well to stand underneath it. Watson tackled from behind by Ryan.
And the Hawks were very good a couple of weeks ago down in Tassie.
Round 150. Watson fired up.
In the wet as well, so it's going to be fascinating to see how both teams go at it tonight. Watson into the game here.
Lots of characters playing tonight, haven't we? Little spot fires everywhere.
Just grabbing hold of the leg there, Watson too.
Crowd were asking for 50, weren't they?
The tackle from Ryan.
What you will see if Sarong doesn't get tagged, you're going to see 30 plus possessions and 10 clearances, which might not mean a win, but he'll have a good night.
Long ball in. Jackson got a run at it. Barris stood tall. Switkowski tackled brilliantly by Warple.
So going by tonight so far, that was holding the ball as well. He had a step and then was tackled, had his arm ping. Had a couple already that have been hot like that.
Jackson with the reach. Over Nash. Brayshaw. Socketed forward. Jaff. Under some pressure. Sicily. Heard a voice almost. Gave it straight to Jackson. And Brayshaw went off the right boot. A little awkwardly out to half-back. The Hawks trying to clear it. Amos into some trouble.
There's a bit of pressure here from the Dockers. Actually, that's been a little bit better across the last 6 weeks. They ranked 5th in the competition, but prior to that, they were down in the bottom few in the competition for their pressure.
O'Meara, Johnson, off a step, in towards Voss, who went underneath it, and the mark is paid to Sicily. Go back, not the 15, Amon's a long kick. We're high to half-back, Battle just trying to knock it on. Clark, O'Driscoll, boundary line.
This chipping to the open side for Sicily at the moment, he's just off with his skills. A real conviction with that kick he was forced to play on. It's the second mistake he's made with ball in hand, but he is defending well.
What would the advice be? Would it be to take...
I suppose just keep going for it. Okay. You know, he's an experienced player. He should be able to work it out.
Second game back for James Sicily's a ball knocked down. Brayshaw, Driscoll. For Brayshaw again.
This is interesting there. Driscoll turned boundary to handball instead of going to his natural left side.
Going on between O'Meara there and Warple.
Old teammates. Reintroducing themselves to one another. And Hawthorn have got a lot of their half forwards just off the back of this stoppage.
Darcy back in the ruck. And off the shoulder there of Meek. Frederick threw a boot at it. Jack through the traffic. Nash. McKenzie. Under pressure. Just gained some territory up the wing. Punch down away from Connor McDonald. Run by Moore. Got it forward to Chol. Hawks a chance to break here. By hand they do it well. Morrison flicked it over the top back to McDonald again. Little push as he kicked it and too much for Watson.
So it didn't work out from the Hawks and it was great pressure from Sam Sukowski to come and affect that one. But Nash was the high half forward. He came up, he affected it, and then the Dockers' defence were...
Almost a poor kick out by Ryan, bring it back into play.
And they're just getting a little bit caught behind the ball free at the moment.
They're trying to go quickly here. Matthew Reid couldn't gather.
I think they've adjusted to the point where it's a straight line game. Pav, it's sort of open play, try and switch the ball, but with a lot of speed, so not really getting that flow just yet. We've only seen one corridor bit of ball movement from Hawthorn.
And look at all the numbers around that stoppage. There's half forwards and half backs all around there.
Make the front position. Hawthorn will get the clearance. Nash on the boot. Cox there, punched away. Banfield try to take it. Two Hawks collide. Dear in there and McKenzie. Warple's handball. Brayshaw there. It's a tough, scrappy footy to be won. Bolton was cleanest. O'Driscoll back for Bolton. And now Banfield. Crafty kicked along the boundary, but a couple of fumbles from Murphy Reid. Haven't seen that too much from the first-year player.
Hardly seen it across his first 16 or 17 AFL games. He's so clean generally, but he's slippery out there.
Hawthorn look better at ground level with their crumbs at the moment. They have their +5 for crumbing.
Darcy with strength, got rid of Meek. Brayshaw ripped it out of there away from McKenzie. Bolt, Johnson. He'll drive it to half forward. It was wayward of Tracy, and it'll roll out of play. Be a boundary throw in. No, it won't be.
I could see him trying to make the decision that umpire he was going to do it on him.
Surely that's just a skill error.
That's not on.
Read the cues. There's the slow switch again. It's been a plan pre-game to try and expand the size of the ground with the players, but it hasn't worked.
Banfield will punch it back. effectively. Inside 50, Voss attacked it with pace. Hawthorn have it covered. Battle. He was involved as well. Empty two. Get it away through Warner. Connor McDonald buried in a tackle by Chapman. And pressure and intent there from the Dockers in this passage. Bolton, Brayshaw, scrappy kick. Frederick roved it well. It's just asking for a bit of class this game. In wet conditions, Frederick provides.
They called perhaps so well because it had been scrappy and slippery, and both teams had actually been butchering the ball. Great tackle here from Chapman. That's intent. That's the type of effort. And then there was a couple of really good first gives. Sometimes the scrubby old kick inside 450 is the best option rather than kicking it long and disadvantage your forwards. Actually just scrubbing the ball in there and let your talent get to work.
From a coaching point of view, you look at the score sources. If you're Hawthorn, and why did that happen? That was the second time they switched slowly, didn't get past centre back for the Hawks, and it's come back with interest. So something to reflect on. You probably don't react straight away, but the slow switch is not working tonight for Hawthorn so far. Great finish though, the ability to pounce on a turnover like that. The second score from a front half turnover.
Back to the middle we go. Free kick out of the ruck. Go to Meek, and a chance for the Hawks to go forward immediately. The driving ball. A good spot. Punch away by Warner from Gunston. Watson with speed able to take it. D'Ambrosio hooks the kick back cleverly almost for Dear. And spills through. Mackenzie and Johnson wrestle. Still inside 50 for the Hawks. Ryan to Brayshaw. Out to Darcy. Now Johnson, Darcy didn't want it back, but he received it, and there was a down the ground free, went Freo's way, but they get out by hand to Bolton. They continue that chain up to Tracy, who just tried to knock it on, knowing that Battle was about to tackle him, and then went into the legs. It'll be a free kick to the Docker. It's almost like he was anticipating that was about to happen. And wins the free kick.
He works hard, Josh Tracy. Up and back, and gets rewarded this time.
Well, the old kick inside 50 is enough for Sicily to see it away.
A number of these forward 50s or right on the half-forward flank. Sicily there. And Pat Voss, that's an interesting battle all night. Sicily had the better of that matchup so far, but here's another stoppage for Freo, deep inside forward 50.
Down to the base of the pack, he'll be held up again.
Talk about the ground ball war. Well, Hawthorn winning that area of the ground so much.
Punched away. Brayshaw in there. Good tap by Meek to Nash. High ball. Chapman back. Read it well. And the slippery footy was a tough mark to take. He was the most defensive player on the ground. Couldn't let it get out the back. And now O'Driscoll wants to drive with the legs and send it inside 50. Amos locked up. Kept his feet. Trying to bring it to ground. Reed in there. Hardwick dove on it. Voss able to extract it on the boot. Meek back there, dropped it, the two ruckman lumbering after it. Darcy did well, opens the door for Bolton! They get around to Sean Darcy, who worked hard in the goal square. And Fremantle make a little break in this first quarter.
It's the third goal made out of it. Something out of nothing with Meek. Probably should have taken that mark. It is a bit slippery. There's a little bit of an excuse there, but great knock on, and just following up each contest at the moment. Both sides are having a go, but when it's in Freo's front half at ground level, they look quite dangerous.
Yeah, it's not been their strength, believe it or not. Really, the ground ball difference inside forward 50, they rank in the bottom four, but tonight, with this guy doing that, between the 6 disposals and a goal and a point, such an important player to the Dockers. Was quiet last week, particularly in the first half. Got going a little bit against the Swans late, but he is a superstar of the competition.
Didn't hit the scoreboard at all against Sydney last week. Shea Bolton, but now 21 goals for the season. 3 goals from turnover. Darcy and Meek, new acquaintances again. Sarong enjoying a bit more freedom in the centre square. Brayshaw has kicked, almost smothered it, sent out towards Tracy. Jath right there with him. And Morrison taken over.
Yeah, so Sarong's had 7 disposals. Now, that was the first time at a centre bounce, at least, in probably for most of the game that Nash has gone and stood right alongside him. So Jackson goes forward. Sarong's a bit of a sitting duck, if you like, in the midfield for Nash to go to him. There you go.
Only had 11 disposals last week. Caleb Sarong, it's his lowest return in any match except for COVID-affected matches and reduced game lengths in 2020. Started brightly. High kick goes in. Jackson on the lead. Barris did enough to spoil. Ginnivan turned into a tackle and holding the ball. That spin is considered your prior. Tackled by 3 Dockers.
Yeah, the pressure's over 200. 3 minutes to go. Normally you activate some sort of stalemate that you'd like for the last 3 minutes, in particular if you're Hawthorn. I don't want to concede another one.
Yeah, pressure's up. You talked about it. 3 on that occasion.
Reed's a clever kick. He wanted Jackson. Barris the spoil. Everyone's had a lot of it down back for the Hawks in this first quarter. Ambrosio trying to get as much distance as he could. Dear presented nicely. Gunston there. Ward delayed the handball cleverly.
It was a great contest from Dear, and then wonderful ball use from Ward.
Ginnivan to give the Hawks a look at it. Late on in this first quarter, he changed his mind. To Amos. Out to half forward. They've got some overlap run. D'Ambrosio can deliver inside 50. It's a good kick too into the pocket, but Chapman left his man. He knocked it straight to Dear, who snapped it straight back over his head. Great to have Calsher Dear back out there and kicking goals.
Well, the best way to defend is sometimes score, and they didn't ice the clock at all. It was still an aggressive, skinny side ball. Remember, you saw core option was on, decided to come back skinny, and that's sometimes based around time on the clock, but playing aggressively. This was a fantastic kick, to be honest. It was a perfect spot kick, good defence, but great Crumman, and great to get him back on the scoreboard.
It's work great, it's effort, and it's a great finish.
And he's not happy.
Late in the quarter, coaches won't be happy with that, but terrific from Calsher Dear. Struggled with injury this season, just his second game of this campaign, his first goal of season 2025. Crucial one for the Hawks. It's in the middle, Meek. Nash did well to knock it down. Woods done some important things. High ball, punched away from Ginnivan. Darcy down low, but he coughed up the handball. Ward, Meek, Hawthorn by hand, just released through Newcomb, and Nash wide to Gunston. It was just too far. He was out in space again.
He timed his leg perfectly. We talked about it already as a highlight of what he does. It's a bit of a wayward handball from Sean Darcy. Opened the door for the Hawks on that occasion.
Meek to the front. Wagner harassed by Connor McDonald. Driscoll. Bolton overran it. O'Meara dispossessed. Clark's kick. Spills to Wagner. He knew the tackle was coming. He's happy just to absorb it and get another stoppage.
Back it out this way. Rucks. 30 shots. I'm down.
Many numbers around this ball up. Both rucks engage with each other. It's called play on. Good pick up by Gunston. Just dispossessed. Nash in there. Got his boot to it. Bolton tried to knock it on. Reed threw it on the boot. High ball, but Barris best position. So they can reload again, the Hawks.
There's another switch. We've said it a lot. They're trying to go open side all the time, the Hawks.
In wet conditions, they're still back in their skills. It's good work from Amos to D'Ambrosio, who will deliver it onto the chest of Dear.
And when you do it like that, when you can switch the ball quickly and have 2 play-ons, it does open up this open side of the ground, and they look dangerous when they do.
Yeah.
Do it.
Or half forward. We compared both forward lines. Maybe say this Hawthorn more effective with their delivery and their execution.
Slippery footy. No issues distributing the Sharon for the Hawks in that last passage of play. Calsher Dear already won on his return. Looks good. Holds its line. Just falls in shallow. Hawthorn still a Ginnivan trying to kick it over his head.
Well done by Bolton. Ginnivan's got that type of goal in him, hasn't he?
Yes.
But Bolton just, this doesn't look good.
Are they tangled here?
The boots are being tangled up, maybe, or shoelaces. It is a shoelace breakage.
When anyone remember Aaron Sandiland stepped on my foot once.
You all right, Jager?
Fair enough that 125 kilos went through my right foot.
Not sure you stopped the play for a broken shoelace.
Okay, you right out?
Do you?
Seeing a lot of broken stuff these. A
Well,
lot
I'm
of
not
stoppage and plays these days. I'm with you.
Shoelace injury, but
It does look a bit sore though. I mean, a bit not for a shoelace in my.
Well, that's a half-back, and that will do us for the first quarter, which ended in strange circumstances. But with so much on the line, there is plenty to play for. On a Saturday night in the West, Caleb Sarong getting amongst the footy after a quiet week last week against Sydney. Dockers made the little break. Maybe still some injury concerns there for O'Meara. But at the first change, it's the Dockers leading it by 5 points.
All right, there we go. It's quarter time, and the Dockers are leading the Hawks 3-1-19. The Fremantle Dockers. Gold flag mantle 2-2-14. The Hawks, I tell you what, she's a pretty scrappy game so far. Quarter time here. Optus Stadium in Perth. It's scrappy. Woohoo, Freo 8 live ladder. All right, just for you, Adrian, just before we head to have a look at the stats, etc. like that, let's go and have a bit of a look at the live ladder. Of course, if Fremantle win, there we go, the live ladder off. Fremantle jump from 9th to 8th, and they're in. Look at that. All the way from 4th down to 8th. They'll be all on 44 points. There we go. A game off the top 4 already if Fremantle can win this game. Mind you, Fremantle have got to get over the Magpies next week at the MCG. But let's worry about tonight. Freo have got to win this game. And, of course, for Hawthorn, it could be big troubles for Hawthorn. If they lose this, they'll drop percentage and they'll be in that mix with all these teams now. But if the Hawks win, they'll be on 48 and a game clear, which they need because their percentage is low, just like Hawthorn, Giants and Freo. All right, let's pop on over. We're going to have a look at the ins and outs because we didn't get to do that. Shouty, Manny, Adrian, game board, of course, in there. Albert, Ryan is keeping us up to date with the other game that's happening at the moment. Half time over there at the MCG. It's Richmond 3-5-23, Trail Essendon 3-6-24. It's the Bombers by a point at half time over at the MCG. But for the ins and outs for these teams, let's get to it. Oscar McDonald, Sam Swiskowski coming in for the Dockers. Alex Pearce, now there's a big out. Neil Aramis going out for the Dockers. Isaiah Dudley, there's an interesting sub there for the Dockers. I tell you what, he can bring a little bit of spark to the Dockers. It'll be interesting to when they initiate him onto the ground. I'm sure it'll be somewhere in the third term. Give them a bit of run and spark if they need at that time. For Hawthorn, Calsher Dear's coming in, Finn McGuinness coming in, Max Ramsden, Seamus Mitchell going out. Finn McGuinness, of course, is the sub. Hey, let's just quickly have a look at the goal scorers. No multiples, only singles. Jack Gunston, Calsher Dear, of course, for the Hawks. Got the 2 singles, and of course for the Dockers, Frederick, Bolton and Amiss. Have got the goals. I tell you what, if Hawthorn are going to win, I think Gunston needs to probably kick about 6 for the Hawks to win this game. Looking at the disposal magnets out on the ground, because we're about to head back to the commentators for the second quarter. Carla Mon from the Hawks is doing it well there with 12 touches. He's certainly building up a nice figure there, 8 and 4. Ambrosio with 11. 7 and 4. Good to see Andy Brayshaw on 11 there for the Dockers and Caleb Sarong on 7. Both of these players, of course, they need to be on song as well for the Dockers and directing traffic out there and putting in the big work to get to help the Dockers get over the line too. And of course, Shai Bolton, another one we're expecting a big game for. He likes big moments, big games, and I think this is definitely a big game for the Dockers tonight, so he'll love that. James Sicily just with the 5 touches in the opening term. Be interesting to see how he progresses throughout the match. Let's just roll on down a little bit. Gunston, I said, Gunston's kicked 1 goal. He's only had 3 touches, 2 kicks in the handball, but he has had the 1 goal. A little bit like Michael Frederick, 3 touches, 3 kicks, 1 goal. Good to see Nick the Watson. Look, he's got his hand on his stick, but nothing's happening. There we go. He's had 2 touches, 2 handballs. Yep. There we go. He's kept quiet, isn't he? Where's he? I was going to try and have a look for the other one, but I can't quite find him. Moab Chol's been a little quiet too. He normally plays really good for the Hawks. He's a pretty decent player. He's only had the 2 touches, 1 and 1. I was going to have a look for the other one. I'm trying to find the other mouth of the south. Where is he? Jack Ginnivan. There he is. 5 touches, 2 kicks, 3 handballs, just the one behind from him. So it'll be interesting to see how some of these players react and perform on the big stage here. I think, as I said, this is a big stage here. There's a lot on the line, even though there's still a handful of games to go until finals come around, Eddie G. But it'll be really, really interesting. One more quick look for the live ladder there for Adrian, all the Fremantle supporters, to see yourself in the top 8 there. All right, folks. Hey, that's enough for me from quarter time. 71% in the poll so far are saying the Dockers. We do get that right more than we get it wrong. Anyway, maybe that's a good omen. All right, let's head back down to the ground for the second quarter. Where is the Dockers by 5 points?
Underfoot. The rain has stopped. Let's hope that's the case for the remainder of the night. We saw that interesting incident with Jago O'Meara's shoelace late in that first quarter. I've just been keeping an eye on him because the doctor was hovering around him for much of that quarter time break. He did a few run-throughs. All appears to be okay at the moment.
Hope that boot's okay.
Some running repairs going too.
He did have
He got stood on it.
But he also had a foot issue, didn't he, for quite some time.
He's out there on the wing, so I think he'll be okay.
Big start to this second quarter applied. Plenty on the line in this one. 2 teams fighting for spot in the top 8. Dockers by 5 as we get underway in the second quarter at Optus Stadium. Saturday night footy. Fremantle and Hawthorn as it's knocked away by Brayshaw. Warple trying to get onto it first. Jackson just cleared a path with strength and was tackled without the footy by Newcomb. Is allowed to play. Hawthorn win it back. McKenzie trying to get there first, and Voss will overtake.
A little venom in these tackles tonight. It's a lot of feeling in this game for obvious reasons.
Fremantle leading that stat by 4 at quarter time. Hasn't always been a feature of their game across Justin Longmuir's tenure, the tackle pressure, but they're on song tonight. Hawks looking sharp as well.
Darcy trying to win it down off the hands of Brayshaw. Jackson cleverly disrupted D'Ambrosio. Now Frederick just got it out in the nick of time. Sarong. Jackson opens the door for Switkowski. Great finish from 50. And Fremantle get an early one to start the second.
Well done to Luke Jackson and Frederick as well, just to get a little squeeze hand pass out and then a ground ball. Jackson hasn't really had a stat this quarter, but he's been in hunting the ball and disrupting play. Here it is. So a hand in there, then he sort of fumbles and overruns it, but have a look. Staying close in a wet game is really important. Look how close Sarong is there. Staying close. First gives, and then it opens the game up for Switkowski. It's a nice finish right on 50.
That's why he's a bit of a unicorn, Jackson, because he can compete in the ruck, flip with Darcy whenever he needs to, strip a player, get a ground ball, get the ball inside to out. So he's had a quiet start to the game, but his impact in that particular stoppage play was a score from stoppage, and it was pretty clean.
He's had a really interrupted season. Sam Switkowski just his 7th of the year. Played round 1 and then rounds 5 to 14 back in the side tonight. We'll enjoy that goal as Hawthorn out of the middle. Walker went the fin. Banfield had him. He got his boot to it. Moore crunched in a tackle by Jackson. Darcy cleverly to Sarong. The Dockers out wide. Bouncing footy. Battle and Amos battle with the strength. Worked him off it. And then Amon can continue for Hawthorn up to Sicily. And tackle pressure again. O'Meara sees him over and out. May go back into it. Sicily keen to get stuck in. O'Meara, the former Hawk. Smile on the face as well after they go at each other. Leap to the front. Jackson up there, roving and getting busy. McKenzie, O'Meara through the legs of Switkowski. Amon got it back to Impey. High ball up and under. Clark with the punch. Ginnivan was roving. 1-on-1 inside 50. Gunston, Ryan. They bring it to the ground. Ryan's waiting for the help to arrive. Brennan Cox is there. He fell over it. That'll be locked up.
Look dangerous, don't they, the Hawks, when they do go inside forward 50. They only had 10 of them for 4 shots at goal, but when that ball hits the ground, they've got there the most likely.
A chance here, Hawthorn. Trying to knock it clear. Jackson's big body knocking the football around. They cut it for a second off. Banfield coughed it up. Dear across to Moore from point blank range. They get the quick reply.
So that's what we've been talking about, Simo. The fact it hits the ground and there's a pressure, and the ball's bubbling around, and it's a score from a stoppage. Nice bit of work here. But so Fremantle actually get their hands on the ball. Banfield tries to drive, and it's just too much pressure in that situation as a goal.
It's both teams. It's red hot. The pressure around the ball is high. There's lots of numbers. I think Fremantle is sending an extra up to the stoppage. Hawthorn are deciding to drop off, but around the forward 50, it's red alert. And to be efficient tonight, Hawthorn only with their 11th inside 50, they're going to have to be more efficient than Fremantle. They don't get that supply, so to be within 5 points is a pretty good get. As we said, the ground ball gets there. It's going to be a bit of a ground ball war.
Yeah, particularly given how slippery it is and how many numbers around the ball. The Hawks right on top in that area.
Both of these teams know what is on the line. Spot in the 8, up for grabs in the run home. A free kick here to Hawthorn at the stoppage. Newcombe will receive it. He'll go wide and out into the path of Ginnivan. He gets a kind bounce and a chance for the Hawks to go inside 50 again. He lays it up for Gunston. Ryan the spoil. Johnson in there, overran it. Goes back to find it at his feet.
So we've got Luke Ryan up against Jack Gunston. It's a good matchup if you're Hawthorn, because Gunston's always going to be leading up and Luke Ryan likes to drop back. He does it so well.
Meek the hit out. Moore after it. Watson fell over at the stoppage, and it's going to be another ball up.
But when you've got someone like Jack Gunston who times his leads well, he's always in the game, it's going to make Ryan very accountable tonight.
Smashed away by Meek. Warpool releases Moore. Just kick one. It's going to be tough to bring it back from there. It's out on the full.
Meek looking like he's hitting the hand. Yeah. Well, first possession, the Dockers well on top early in this match, but it looks like the Hawks are just getting inside of him.
It's like they're not as concerned about the clearance as opposed to the turnover game. The Hawks are setting up more for a turnover than a stoppage game.
Having 59 hit-outs last week. Would make against the Saints. High ball goes back in, and it just opened up. The seas parted for Dear.
Fair bit happening off the ball here.
Just been bubbling away through the evening. Voss in the thick of it.
His third shot for the night for Dear. He started well, hasn't he?
Started really well. Loved his contest, about where he's standing right now in the first quarter, and then he went all the way down and kicked a wonderful goal. McDonald on that occasion was just on his heels, and Dear reacted first, came straight at the ball.
25 goals in 17 games last year for Calsher Dear. Just really announced himself in the competition, and he's proving exactly what he is capable of.
So when you play forward, you want to be the first to move, and if you get beaten because the ball's kicked over your head, then so be it. But this is a good contest. Barris just wins the ball, and then Dear, that's 5 or 10 metres away from his opponent. So lapse in concentration from McDonald, really smart from Dear, playing in front, first to move, and right on 50. It's a beautiful kick.
It's the missing piece, the third tall. Now that Gunston's more of a pivotal point. Gunston used to be the third tall. Now he's probably the main guy. So having Dear to come in and have 2 on the board halfway through the second quarter is
a great start.
It's part of the missing piece that probably Hawthorn are chasing, with a couple of guys coming back from the reserves.
Yeah, Mitch Lewis kicked 5 in the VFL today. Ramsden kicked 4, was left out this week, but all of a sudden they've got few options for tall targets inside 50. They've hit the front, the Hawks. And the clearances, they are winning comprehensively to start this quarter. That time Darcy just put it on his boot, but Hardwick able to intercept. Hawthorn controlling things, dangerous kick. Empty made it work. He's got runners on the outside. Morrison continued to push forward. Now Jack for Sicily. They can look inside 50 again. The kick goes wide to the pocket. Shoal got to the front and it ricochets away. It's that out on the full.
If Chapman thought it was, his head went straight back, but the umpires...
Do you think they could review that? if they had the ability to look at this upstairs, I know it adds to the game, adds time to the game, but if this is a clear indication, I think it's taking a guess here, really.
It was out in the full. There's no
Yeah,
doubt.
it just makes you wonder, I mean, how much do you bring in the coach's box of the umpires to make these decisions?
Do you have a view?
Not really. Just a question.
Captain's call as the ball's after it. Darcy, Ginnivan.
Yeah, just don't add to the game, that's all.
Add to the game length with another stoppage. Even though got a short one there. Jack lost it. Handball O'Meara. Hawthorn's pressure being really good to start the second quarter.
I don't mind the idea of a captain's goal.
let's
This
have
is
a look.
late in the game, so it's clearly out the full.
So
And how would take you straight away?
It'd take you 3 seconds to work that out.
Yep.
And the idea of a captain's call, I think it's a good one.
Tap by Darcy. And Johnson held up.
Just have an umpire in the box call as well, Pav. Just tell them in the earpiece.
Spent some time with the umpires recently.
A little bit too much time, perhaps. Back away from that one.
Frederick after it. Dropped all the way through too as the ball goes forward. Warple, handball after it. Darcy. And off the fingertips.
They've lifted their game, haven't they, Hawthorn? Was pretty much since the start of this quarter. They've adjusted a couple of things. Clearance work's got a bit better. Field positions now a concern for Fremantle.
Their pressure is right on. Clearances +4 in the second term, and their pressure around the ball. It hasn't always been clean, but they're just hunting.
Warple, Ginnivan was trying to close him down. The Hawks gain some ground. It's a dangerous one for Chol. He threw his boot at it. The Hawks just dropped the footy. Got away with it. Bolton back. Warner a step. Was he outside the field of play before he kicked it?
Like it.
It's going to be out of bounds on the ball, so they get one here, the Hawks.
So this is the pressure. Is that out? That's out. There's the umpire again.
One each
Your
way.
influence is amazing how what you can do.
Morrison chance to send it in. Hawks controlling things to start this quarter. Big mark almost to make down there. Darcy went with him step for step. Forced the ball to ground. A real scrappy footy to win. Dear. A couple of Dockers hanging off him, and it will be a ball up.
Yeah, lots of territory right now. Make almost hung on to that one. Darcy did well actually to get a fist in the end, but warning signs here for Freo.
Good strength from Meek again to knock it down. O'Driscoll diving on top of the footy and got back to his feet for his tackles.
So clearance battle this second term. The Hawks right on top, and it's meant the ball has lived in their forward half.
Darcy down. Watson, he led in with the head, trying to get a high tackle. Looked like there was some contact there from
The other
Chapman.
thing too, perhaps, is that this is the 7th forward 50 stoppage for the quarter.
Rate of numbers eventually. The dam might break as Moore able to get through. He squeezes a kick wide.
+6 clearance as well.
No, yeah, +6 clearances now, and it's where you have them as well. I mean, if you have them defensive 50 clearances versus forward 50, it's a completely different stat sheet. So,
And it makes it so hard to transition the ball from right here when the Hawks have been able to set up behind the plate.
Clark will have to kick long to a contest. Tracy sets himself with a big leap over the top. That'll help you get some field position as he goes wide for Frederick. Ross protected him nicely. Frederick now for some run. Bolton with the dash. Driving ball in for Amos out the back. Reed read it quickly under pressure from Hardwick. And he's pushed over the boundary line. But that outlet kick to Josh Tracy. What a mark this was.
That's a beauty from Josh Tracy. It's the first contested mark for Fremantle, so they need to get him and a few other of their big boys into the game. The Hawks with 4 contested marks to 1, so that's a ripper though from Tracy.
Jackson to the front. Wagner. Pitched by Amos. The dump kick only as far as Luke Ryan, who's told to go by his teammates quickly inside 50, but goes instead to O'Driscoll. Now Hawthorn back in numbers. O'Driscoll has to hit it in hope. He wants the leapers. Waiting down was Voss. Footy pinballs around again. Amos tunnels it out. Nash on the boot. Clark in front. O'Meara there. Ginnivan. Ward. Fremantle's pressure good. Now they swarm over the top. Like the Hawks have just had that extra number waiting. Amon, Connor McDonald. Now Ginnivan, they can run. D'Ambrosio on the boot. Up the line. Punched away by the Docker defence. It'll stay in play. Watson ducked in again. Put himself in some trouble there. Might be a little hurt too. Wasn't paid a free kick. Sarong's handball slick. Away to Reed. Pinpoint pass to Frederick. Watson still down behind the play as the kick goes inside 50 for Johnson, but it was nicely done by Newcomb. Just disrupted his vision and knocked the footy away. Stopped the mark. It was desperate defence, and Hawthorn can hold up.
He needed to come to the ball, Johnson. He stopped and waited.
Ward to Sicily, Ginnivan, and it'll stay in play, and the Hawks are away. Watson's back on his feet as Ginnivan runs the wing and takes as much territory as he can with a high ball in. Warner across to help, and it punches the footy out of play.
Great chase from Michael Frederick, and they get across to Warner as well because here's Watson.
The question would be asked, did he lean into that, or was it a legitimate high tackle decision for the umpire? Drop your knees.
He's going down there.
It looked like it, but he probably didn't need to.
May have been high anyway. He
That's right.
stayed a little more upright, and in the end he came off a little worse for wear. It's Johnson, Clark, O'Meara. It's a dangerous kick with a slippery footy.
It's going to be careful, Watson, too, to himself. You know, that's what we're trying to avoid, those...
He's going to hurt himself, isn't he?
Collisions, absolutely. I mean, to what point you try and get a free kick, you do damage to yourself.
He certainly got over to Amos. Goes inside 50. Johnson stood in the space. Warple dragged down by Clark. Docker's in defence. Banfield wants the boundary, didn't find it. Kept in play. Here's Watson on cue. Bounces back to his feet for maximum impact.
He's okay. He's okay, perhaps. It's living at both ends at the moment. It's not a transition game. It's going to sit in someone's 50. And Hawthorn just a little bit better at ground level. Saw the ball at the other end there for a couple of minutes, but
It's got to go out of bounds. It's got to go out of bounds if you're a Fremantle player and fan.
if you're Hawthorn, though, it was a
Brilliant, wasn't it? Look at this
great
first give.
pressure.
Great snap from Watson. How good's that?
It's been entertaining, that's for sure. It's probably not a pretty game to watch, but some of the battles we're seeing around the ground and what's at stake as well is adding to the intensity you see out there. So
Brilliance he's capable of. Nick Watson, 3 goals to 1 in this second quarter. Hawthorn controlling it. Trying to extend out on the scoreboard. Go back to the middle. Meek against Jackson. Jackson able to win it down. Brayshaw and get the clearance. Shares it with Wagner. Dockers will get it out of the middle, but nobody at half forward. The kick was read well by Jaffa, came out to meet it, and then he was a little fumbly. Sarong wasn't back the other way, and he bullets the kick in for Amos. That was lethal delivery.
It's just wonderful skills from Caleb Sarong. Firstly, to win the ball, just held his line of the play. It was a brilliant ground ball, and then the kick to Amos. That's exactly how you want it as a key forward.
game of inches too, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're out there, the Hawks. Look at this for a kick. That was a bullet.
Important kick here. Just been off the boil a little bit with his set shots.
Not been quite as reliable off the shoe of Jai Amos this season. Already got one tonight. That one is tight, but he squeezes it home. 2 goals on the night, and a steadier for Fremantle to bring it back to a 2-point game.
Is it important for a forward perhaps to hit your first kick at your first set? So I know he's had a shot before, but a kick like that just for your confidence going forward.
Yeah, that's number 2 for Amos, isn't it, tonight? So he actually didn't get this quite right. Frederick was going the other way. And look at this kick. So he's drawn Amos. Amos was there. He was leading to it, but you can't stop that from battle. I think it helps. It's useful when you kick your your first one pretty well. But I think what is more important is he's in the game he's playing. He's actually had a relatively quiet year. Look at the Eblets. They're popping away there. there, the beanies are on and
Flashing the lights or not. It's actually a bit distracting.
The lights and sirens round for Fremantle. They pay tribute to the emergency services and the guard of honour as they ran out onto the ground. Lots of activations around, and we got the lights going after every goal as McKenzie is dragged down through the middle. Johnson took a little while to find it, and then the handball went back behind Wagner. Well, taken by McKenzie. Then was he taken high? No, he's caught holding the ball.
It did look high initially. Brayshaw maybe quick enough. The umpire was right there. Quick enough to get his arms back down, maybe outside of that first one.
Out to Sarong, again looking for Amos, but Impey with an important intercept mark. And a 50-metre penalty. Didn't look all that late, or too much in it. We'll check the replay.
Did not look like there was much in it all, but they're inside 50 now.
And now they go right in front. Yep. So kicking skills which have been so good in the crowd, not insufficient attempt, which we saw in that exact spot a little earlier in the game.
If they were consistent like they were, it would have been cold. I think that is the right decision, though. I don't think that was insufficient, by the way. The umpire got it wrong in the first quarter. Sam Mitchell barking orders there from the coach's box.
It's about now when you've picked up some trends, if you're a coach, have you kind of changed direction of the game from the coach's box to a certain degree?
Newcomb taken by Jackson.
It's not massive in our numbers jumping off the page for Sam. He's pretty content with the first half, I would have thought.
Very much an arm wrestle. Saturday night in the West. Good handball from Sarong to release Brayshaw. And his kick goes wide.
Yeah. You see, hear the umpire there on that occasion. They speak and say that was a skill error. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, the only thing Sam would be discussing is Sarong and Brayshaw are really starting to have an influence now on the game. As much as it's an arm wrestle, the good players for Fremantle are getting their hands on the ball.
They're kicking it that well, are they?
15 disposals for Brayshaw, 14 for Sarong.
It's going to get 50% by foot, but they are having an influence around the ball.
Knocked down Newcomb, D'Ambrosio. Up the line. Pack of players there. Watson waited cleverly front and centre to take it away. Running the footy well again, the Hawks.
Simo, you talked about it at a quarter time, but they are absolutely on fire. The Hawks around the crumbs. They're taking Fremantle to town, frankly, in that area of the ground.
Meek and Jackson lock up again. Crashing through Ryan.
Well, it's the craft, but it's also predictability. They know where the ball's going to go. They get to the feet. And they've got some good players who do it well.
Jackson started from further back there, trying to get a hit out going. Sarong over it. They drag it back in. It's going to be a ball up.
He almost did. That could have been pinged. He certainly grabbed it and then was tackled immediately. Maybe that's where the umpire gave him the benefit. And a lot of 450 stoppages for the Hawks this quarter.
Yeah. Jackson down. Ash just lost it. Sarong another touch, but chopped off by Morrison. Tracy just drifting down close to that protected area. As Morrison looks up, he just skies a footy into the hot spot, looking for the leapers. Plenty of arms up, but waiting down. McDonald, great roving, the crumbing again from the Hawks.
Not sure if that kick was deliberate, perhaps, but it was a pitching wedge to the top of the square, and they're plus 14 for crumbs, which sounds like such a small part of the game, doesn't it? But
it's the gap of the game right now. It really is. So let's have a look where he comes from. He's standing right next to his opponent. Might have been Danforth or Sarong. We'll get another look, but he is right where a good forward or good player will be. Sarong goes left. He goes right, and he enjoys it. That's a really nice finish from McDonald. He's a good player. And he's having an impact. He's having a good time out there as well, having a good laugh.
Goal in his last 5 games now. Connor McDonald, 7 across that stretch, including tonight.
To be a bit more mature than this time last year when we got caught up in the wave of their success and how they handled themselves. They mean business tonight.
Great battle we've got on our hands, and out of the middle they go with Warple and a high kick to the 50. Ryan the punch away. O'Driscoll buried in a tackle by Morrison. In the territory from Hawthorn, they have it in their forward half. Get another stoppage. As Meek couldn't get clear of Darcy.
Yeah, so 11-7 clearances this quarter. Actually even out of the centre bounce, but the ground ball, they're +10 the Hawks, so continuing that trend.
Brayshaw, Johnson, Ryan. Releases by hand to Wagner. Steps back through some trouble. Just got it away in time. Dumped the kick forward. Reed got an important touch in there. MP still went after the footy. Ginnivan, hot handball, threw it away. And now it opens the door for the Dockers. Switkowski trying to get there. Voss claim back to Switkowski. He tried to fend. Just got a shoe on it. Now to Wagner. Inside 50. Bolton will mark.
That's great work from the Dockers. There's a bit going on off the ball again. Well done by Jackson to hold here, because Sicily had a run at Bolton. It was well protected, but the kick from Wagner was a beauty. Let's have a look. Again, staying close. The pressure we've talked about from both teams. That's a really nice kick, and Jackson does a good job to protect him.
1 goal, 1 on the evening for Shea Bolton. Goal from the snap. He missed on his set shot earlier tonight. Been inside 50 all that often in this second quarter. And that gets a reward off the boot of Shea Bolton.
He started the game very well. Good Shea Bolton. Had a number of disposals and a couple of shots early in that first quarter. A bit quiet this second term, as the Hawks have had a fair bit of the ball in their forward half, but this is the kick. That's a really smart kick from Wagner. You can see Jackson there pushing back to get in Battle's way.
Normally this stage of the game you can sort of see who's got control. I don't think either has control at the moment. There's little moments where the ball pings around, falls in someone's hand, they make a good decision and good execution. You've had field position this quarter from Hawthorn, probably more efficiency from Fremantle the other end, so it's been a really good struggle.
Switches from what we saw in the first quarter. Knocks back up again. Hawthorn by 2 points.
And it's 4 goals Fremantle kicked from that attacking midfield area where they're turning the ball over.
Out of the centre. Clearance is crucial. Nash on the boot. Clark in front. We go quickly out wide to Ryan.
Outside 5.
So hard run for Brayshaw to the wing. He's ignored initially, and he still waits to receive.
Yeah, so that lateral kick, when Clark wins that ball, they go lateral, try to set the game up. Nash and Clark just getting in the way of one another, but they pick a side and then it's long down the line.
That's where Brayshaw goes. Meek didn't hang on. Sicily tried to fend, got a boot to it. Switkowski went forward, and it will be a ball up.
He's been dangerous. Switkowski is an important player for Fremantle in that forward half. Hasn't had a huge year as he comes up with plenty of...
You see where his face went into the turf as he was driven forward in that tackle. And then he just got twisted up in that next tackle. Switkowski's back to his feet. Hawthorn away with it. Up the line, and good strong hands from Gunston. And the Hawks get it moving quickly. Called to play on, and then he steps Chapman, who went the swan dive to try and smother. Experience there from Gunston, and Warner punches it away. There's a bit going on too as they shape up to each other.
Jordan, Dylan, John, Floyd, watch in front.
Continue with the niggle. Stuck into each other. As the ball's knocked down. Sure.
Couple of possessions from Hawthorn. Amos up to 17. Gidman's got 14. Ambrosio 14, and the Fremantle Brayshaw 16. Sarong 15.
After it, Johnson. Right to half back over the top of it. There's Jackson with such quick agility to recover from the big man to Frederick, and that kick misses the target of Amos.
Yeah, Sarong and Brayshaw with 6 first possessions each, so they're getting inside of the Hawks midfielders, but Newcomb's the one. He's had 4 clearances, so fascinating battle in around the contest. Talked about the patterns and talked about how even it is. It's just a good game of arm wrestle footy at the moment.
Again, front position. O'Meara, no Pryor. the stoppage.
It just shows both clubs and teams are up for it tonight on the big stage.
That means so much. Vital 4 points on the line. They battle for positions in the top 8.
Thanks, guys. Let's go.
So you can see Ginnivan, he's the high half forward. He's sitting behind the ruckman there. He's actually really wrong at the moment. He's calling for another high half forward up.
Mirror after it. Ball pulled back. Now Newcomb and try and break the Hawks. The kick down low. Knocked away and over the boundary line.
Yeah.
Watson wasn't going to quite get there.
Really interesting to see this battle of the half forwards and Sukowski as well. So Sukowski, you can see that he's just walking back to the left of the screen. He's going, well, I have to get to Ginnivan because Bailey, you were caught up going to the ball. So it's a really team-oriented play from both clubs at the moment.
Morrison gets it forward for Hawthorn. Watson took it well. He was bumped by Clark. He's back onto it, Watson. Away now to Nash. Hooks the kick dangerously towards Gunston. Spilt through. O'Driscoll will drive and he'll try to sizzle that kick through the middle. It just got over the top to Frederick. Now Fremantle can try and break. Switkowski with a swivel of the hips. Brayshaw slid in. He was taken high. Umpire didn't spot it. He's caught holding the ball.
You won't be happy with that.
There needed to be one more give though anyway, didn't it? Oh, hang on, what's happened here?
Push down. I think it's a reverse free kick, which it isn't. And now Newcomb will send it in. He wants Meek. Ryan a punch away. And go towards the boundary line, but Frederick can keep it in place. Got nothing up the line, so he went cleverly off the outside of the boot. Tracy lost it though. Brayshaw knocked it on. Fremantle putting their bodies on the line, as are Hawthorn.
Jeez, it's on.
It is a terrific contest. It's not pretty, it's not clean footy, but these two teams know what's at stake.
It's so fun to watch when you're angry. Like, when see players angry, it was always great to see from a coaching point of view, and there's a lot of angry players out there. Don't get these types of games too often.
It's a 2-point margin as Sicily can get the jeers as it's sent inside 50. Meek wanted it. Was punched away by the Docker defence. Watson always dangerous. Ryan in there. Chapman fumbled. Ginnivan trying to take it. And a free kick will go to the Dockers for a push in the back.
He's a bit lucky there, Heath Chapman. He gets a free kick for in the back. But he's been a bit fumbly down there. Yes, there's a load of pressure and it's slippery. But the Hawks are there to pounce every opportunity it hits the ground.
Goals late in quarters will be so vital, whichever way they are found. Fremantle pinned in their back half. Green Cox just go with a long ball out towards Tracy. Impey did well to cut across. Wagner tried to escape. Run down by Morrison. It's a prior there as he tried to escape. It's going to be ball up, and then Tracy and Morrison get into it. Playing angry, Simo.
Both the pressure gauge, they're both 214, so you can sort of tell, and that's for the whole game.
High number, absorbing contest. Sarong in there.
You just think it's going to be one of those matches where if you get a bit of momentum, you can hear the players out there barking orders. They're just high alert at every opportunity.
Jackson got it down. Warpool got the clearance. In towards Watson. Clark! That's an awkward landing. Didn't quite stick the mark. He was trying to claim it. Chapman gets it back to him. Now Warner under the pump. They're being forced the wrong direction, the Dockers. Gunston worried Ryan out of it. Connor McDonald was clever to Ginnivan. Quick snap. It's a goal! Ginnivan, craftily done. There's tempers flare again.
Well, we've seen it a couple of times. The Hawks pressure, but just not as clean as they need to be in their back 50. The Dockers, it's elite work here from the Hawks. Is this a mark? I think it is, but good player. I think he controlled that to the ground. But just like that, so there's a fumble there, or missed handball. There's another missed handball. And then Ryan overruns it. Clean there, go. That's what it's going to take tonight.
Well, the vulnerability for Fremantle at the moment is the ground ball in their D50. I mean, normally you win that battle. It's 11-4 in Hawthorn's favour, which is off the charts. So the Smalls, the message for Mitch at halftime, I'm assuming, would be just get it to ground inside our 50 and get to work.
There you go. There's it highlighted +8. And you're right, that is off the charts. Advantage the Hawks when you get it inside and on the ground in 50.
Back in the middle they go. Ward slipped over. They had Brayshaw to get it to Sarong. On the boot quickly up to O'Meara. Hardwick attacked it well. Can feed it back inside for Warple. McDonald out to Ambrosio. I'd love another late one here, Hawthorn. The kick goes wide for Gunston, who trapped it well, slipped the tackle, back to his feet, central kick, dangerous ball, off hands. They clamber in after it. Johnson was a little nervy as to what he could do there or not. They all pile in on top. Watson still after it.
It just continues the theme, doesn't it? As soon as it hits the ground, I mean, Watson was...
He looks sharp tonight, Watson. He's up and about. Seen him live, haven't seen him for a while. He looks really switched on to the game.
Johnson was right on the edge of that 9 metre zone. This is where Hawthorn have been good. As ground ball gets in their forward 50, Ginnivan ripped off the footy. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Meek down to a central spot. Ginnivan almost held. Nash on the boot. And it'll spill. But it'll stay in the forward pocket for Hawthorn.
It's the 21st first forward 50 stoppage for Hawthorn for the game. Slightly in their favour. It's not everything, these stats, but definitely helps.
Big number. There's Meek and Jackson. Donald bundled over in a tackle. Nash tried to get it out. Sarong dump kick, touched off the boot. Reed got it across to Frederick, turned into trouble. Another stoppage this time just inside 50.
There's no space either side at the moment.
Jackson and Meek again. Crash into each other. Great hit out. Down to Ward. Hooks the ball back, but Oscar McDonald.
Minute 40 on the clock, I think. Play the safe game.
Does that, goes up the line towards the boundary. Jackson trying to claim the mark in front. And Meek's hanging on to him. He dumps him to the turf and holding the ball.
Well, they've been playing it all night, all year, this particular rule. Whether you would agree or not, perhaps it's been pretty consistently paid throughout the year.
Just hang on to the footy with that one arm. You've got to try to get rid of it. As Ward wasn't paid the mark, Warple to the pocket. Gunston almost. Dockers' defence under siege as the torp out of defence will come straight back. It's out on the full.
Fremantle may need to look at the personnel at half-time down back. They look a little bit tall for Hawthorn Smalls.
High ball goes in from Impey. Lots underneath it, punched away. Sicily trying to rove on. Couldn't make the connection he wanted. Clark to Warner. And they don't rush it over when they could have initially. Now he almost has
scary. It's just you just don't really know what to do with the ball. You want to take it over, you think you can, but you don't know.
Ryan didn't really have time and space. Did he have an option to keep it in play? Right on the borderline, I reckon. Well, it's a rush behind. Long ball out. Tracy. Again, that outlet kick might get the Dockers moving. They want Frederick out the back. It's spilled that way. Reed was held. 30 seconds to go till half-time. Open forward line. Reed wants to go quickly. Sends it into the hot spot. All the Hawks were up. No one at the spill for the Dockers. Ward, Nash, now Newcomb. If Hawthorn can go quickly, they're a late chance. All out wide for Watson. Warner crashed into him. Played it pretty well. Keep it in play to Reed. That might just about do it. Gets the instructions from the bench. He's been told to go, but seconds tick down. Get a mark in pit net range, perhaps, as the ball's bumped out of play. Over and out. That is half-time, and Hawthorn impressive through the first half. A real arm wrestle between two sides that are desperate for the 4 points on the line tonight.
They're both finals worthy, aren't they, the way they're playing? But at this stage, 9 competing for 8 spots, and if you're Fremantle, there's some work to do with A, keeping it out of their back line, and B, that ground level wall that's happening in Hawthorn's front half. They look pretty dangerous once they get it in there, and as at the other end, it's not as potent at ground level.
What's wrong with the 17 disposals? Brayshaw 17. Amos with 17 for Hawthorn, leading the way in terms of the numbers out there on the grounds. At the half, the Dockers will say farewell to a legend of their club. That's not too far away, but let's get down to Cathlock.
Yes, I got Jack Gunston alongside me. Geez, it's an entertaining game to watch, high pressure. How are you feeling from a player point of view?
Yeah, it is. It's an arm wrestle, and it's what we expect coming over here, quality opposition. I think the pressure factor is really high, a bit scrappy, and you got to make the most of your opportunities.
Do you feel like when the ball hits the deck in your forward 50, it's advantage Hawthorn?
We have been dangerous so far. It has been a strength all year, so it's been a focus. We brought Calsher in, he's good pressure, and Watto's dangerous, so that's the way we've got to try and lock it in and be able to score from there.
One of the players you've taken under your wing. Welcome back, Calsher Dear. He's been great.
Yeah, he has. He's a real presence at the moment. He's looking lively, and it's good to see he's converting.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Kath.
9-point lead to the Hawks in the half. Fremantle will say farewell to a favourite son when we come back shortly, but it's a great game we've got on our hands. Don't go anywhere. Hawthorn by 9.
All right. Half time here, folks, and a little bit of a turnaround. It's Hawthorn leading now. Half time here at Optus Stadium at 7-4-46. The Hawks, the Dockers 6-1-37. It's the Hawks by 9 points. Of course, the Dockers could only manage 3 straight goals in that second term, whereas the Hawks 5 goals, 2. Boo umpires, I tell you what. Yeah, I thought the Freo bloke took a mark. Umpires said no, and then they went and kicked a goal. I'll tell you what, it's a little bit iffy, but there we go. I know that's unfortunately that's the game. I'll tell you what, it's 3/4 time over there at the MCG. Low scoring affair. It is Essendon 4-10-34 leading the Tigers 3-9-27. Big inaccuracy kicking over there. My gosh, who's going to win that game, Ryan? We'll certainly find out. They're going into the last quarter in just a few minutes' time. But there we go. It's the Hawks on top. You know what I noticed about the Hawks? Some iffy decisions, absolutely. You know what I noticed? A little bit about the Dockers and the Hawks, certainly around the ball ups, etc., like that. The Hawks seem to be just getting in there and trying to run through the ball up, whereas the Dockers seem to be just standing back, waiting for the ball to come to them. They've got to get in there. Get in there, son. Get in there, Dockers, and show your might to the Hawks. Don't just let them walk all over you, especially in those ball ups, and take control of that. I did notice that in the last bit. Dockers sort of just standing back, sort of waiting for the ball to come to them. No. You got to get in there. You see like the Wizards and that, they're just running right through the middle of the ball up, wanting to get that little handoff, etc. like that. So that's something the Dockers got to clear up as well. The small men are dangerous Hawks. That's what they were saying. Some of the backmen might be. Is it the backmen might be just too tall? They might need to shrink the height down there a little bit. Yeah, that's it. You know, you take them out, and you certainly reduce the risk. But you let them get a little bit of belief, and they can just continue to fire up the little men down there for the Hawks. I won't show the live ladder unless Addy G wants the live ladder. Probably not the right time to show the live ladder just at the moment. Actually, let's have a look at the live ladder. Just in case any Hawthorn fans out there, if you happen to win, that'll be sort of the ladder at the moment. You'll jump up into 4th. There we go. I'll show it just for the Hawthorn supporters. Addy G, if you're a Fremantle supporter, look away then. Oh, it's a little bit late. I should have said look away now. My gosh. There we go. We've only got 3 multiple goal scorers out on the ground. And, of course, for Hawthorn, it's Calsher Dear with 2. He's the only one for them. And, of course, singles to Watson, Moore, McDonald, Gunston, Ginnivan. And for the mighty Fremantle, Dockers, Shai Bolton's got 2. Amiss also with 2. Sam Swiskowski has 1 with Michael Frederick. There we go. There's your goal scorers. Let's have a little bit of a... let me have a little bit of a look. The commentators might be coming back. I'll see what if they're going to talk about the game. We can put it back to that. I think they're saying see to Michael Walters. Is Michael Walters leaving, retiring, is he? Is he retired from the Dockers? I'm just seeing something there.
65 goals, 1,000 highlights, no doubt. All Australian in 2019 and Fremantle's leading goal kicker in 2013, 15, 16, 18.
So must be a retiree.
Enormous contributor and a great leader for this football club as the crowd right now, Matthew Pavlich, pay tribute to one of your former teammates.
All right, we'll just put it down here as a bit of a tribute to Michael Walters.
He's a fan favourite and certainly one of my favourites as well. Former teammate of mine, played alongside him for 10 years, and he's just a wonderful ambassador for the game of footy. He had to work his absolute backside off to get back into the team back in 2012, and the fans are all on their feet enjoying the moment, and it's a great tribute.
And quite silent now because they're all taking in the words of Sonny Walters. So congratulations to him. He should be enormously proud, and his family as well. Let's pivot, though, to tonight's action, what we've seen. It's a great game, this one. High pressure. You'd have to say Hawthorn really lifted in that second quarter, Pat.
Yeah, they did. They had the better of the second term by far. Fremantle doing relatively well off turnover, but in that second term, the Hawks' clearance work and territory, so they had a number of inside forward 50 stoppages, and eventually the dam wall did break. So some question marks, or at least some slight concerns, I think, for that dressing room right now about what they have to address at halftime. But if you're the Hawks, well, they had enough going their way in that second term.
Calsher Dear was one of the inclusions for Hawthorn tonight, had been impressing in the VFL. Well, he's impressing tonight on the senior stage. A couple of goals, but also what he's doing off the ball, his work rate.
I thought this contest, so this is towards the end of the first quarter. Let's have a look. There's 3 Dockers against maybe 2 or 3 in the end Hawks. So his contest to initially bring it to ground, but just have a look how hard he works back towards goal. Firstly, to equalise numbers ahead of the play, so Fremantle can't just get an extra 1 or 2 behind the ball. And then they get a little bit caught up here, the Dockers' defence. McDonald sort of takes a couple of steps forward, and then Dear's out the back. He hands over as the raw for Michael Bonkers goes around the ground. But Dear's been awesome. He's hit the scoreboard a couple of times, but his work rate up and back the ground has been first class tonight.
Yeah, welcome back, Calsher. In terms of a Fremantle point of view, well, all the talk was about Caleb Sarong, kept quiet last week against the Sydney Swans. James Jordan Taggart, he's been allowed a bit of freedom tonight, and he's got an equal halftime high of 17 disposals and 5 clearances. He and Andrew Brayshaw are starting to have real influence.
Yeah, and have a look at this. So he spreads from the stoppage well, and then that kick off a step to Amos is exactly what a key forward is hoping for. He's been big tonight, Caleb Sarong. He's needed to. Caleb Sarong is a huge player, but so is that man on screen, Michael Walters. We've been highlighting him at halftime here as he gets to do a bit of a lap of honour with his family.
You said he was one of your favourite players. Why?
Because he's cheeky, because he's good, and because he always passed the ball nicely to me.
Well, I think he's about 20 metres away from us now, so I think you need to go say hello and thank you. I'll let you go, Matthew Pavlich. A reminder, the action for round 18 continues tomorrow. 3 games coming your way. The final being Port Adelaide and West Coast, and then Bounce and First Crack for a full review.
All right, well, they're just going off to another quick break. Let's check some of these stats again. Where were we? We're over here. That's right. We're having a look at the ball magnets out on the ground. Of course, Caleb Sarong, Andy Brayshaw, top of the table for the Dockers, 17 apiece. That's fantastic. Both with 5 clearances, doing their job well. Just need the rest of them to pick up the slack a little bit. Want to get the Dockers up and firing. For Carl Lamont, for the Hawks, he's also on 17. So we've got 3 leading the way out on the field today with 17 touches up until half time. James Warple, 16. Jack Ginnivan. Well, there we go. One of the players that you want to sort of keep quiet, Jack Ginnivan. He's up 16 already. He'll get in your face, and he's a very cheeky boy. I tell you what, 16, 8 and 8. He's had a couple of clearances, 1 goal, 1, laid a couple of tackles. There's one you'd want to keep quiet if you're a Docker. He can certainly spark the Hawks alight. Josh Ward, 12 there. Matty Johnson for the Dockers, 12. Sicily on 11. All right, let's roll on down. Luke Ryan. I'll be interested to see when Isaac Dudley gets subbed in for the Dockers. I think a play like him would certainly do well in a game like this at the moment. Give the Dockers a little bit of spark. There we go. Frederick with 9 and Shai Bolton with 9. 1 and 2 goals for both of those fellas. Let's keep rolling down. Jarman Impey just on the 8 with Josh Battle for the Hawks. Jager O'Meara, he's a bit quiet. He's only had the 7 touches, 3 kicks, 4 handballs, a couple of clearances, but he needs to lift as well. Dylan Moore just with a 6, 1 goal, 1 his kick. Luke Jackson, I'd expect a little bit more out of him from the second half. 6 disposals. He's only had the 1 kick, not yet hit the scoreboard. 5 handballs, 15 hitouts, 1 clearance. Sean Darcy, 17 hitouts from him, 6 as well. The opposing ruckman, there we go. Lloyd Meek for the Hawks, just a 5 disposals. He's kicked a 1 behind. So 3 kicks, 2 handballs, but he has laid a lot of tackles, 11 tackles. Pretty big for a big man. 30 hitouts, 3 clearances. So he's doing quite well, even though lack of possessions, he's still doing the job pretty well. Josh Tracy, need him to start and get on his bike and pedalling. Just a 5 touches, not hit the scoreboard either as yet. Just the 3 kicks, 1 handball. So yeah, there's a few that we need to get moving. Let's just have a look at the team stats while we're waiting. Of course, the Hawks leading away there by 32. Inside 50s, interesting. 24-27. There we go. Thought it might have been a little bit higher for both teams. 24 inside 50s for the Dockers. 6 goals, 1, 7 scoring shots. Of course, for the Hawks, 3 more entries. 27 for 11 scoring shots. So doing slightly better are the Hawks going inside. As you can see, the efficiency inside 50 at 48% there for the Hawks. Just below season average. But the Dockers, 29%. Really need to lift that up. 47's their season average. Even the disposal efficiency for both sides well down tonight. Free kicks, few iffy free kicks. 11-8. The home team, the Dockers, they're +3 in the free kicks. But as you said, as a few iffy free kicks. And there was a couple that weren't paid, that should have been paid, which resulted in Hawthorn goals. So sometimes it's definitely the ones that aren't being paid with the ones being paid. The hitouts, 32 apiece tied up. The clearances, 27-21. Hawks by 6. Centre clearance is all right. They're all tied up at 7 apiece. This is what I was saying before about the Hawks. They're getting on the move at the stoppage clearances. They're +6 there, 20-14. Dockers need to get someone on the move there instead of just standing back. Contested possession, well, Hawks just contesting a bit harder. They're +21, +14 uncontested. Turnovers, not too bad for the day, 34-30. Marks all pretty well tied up, 31-35. They're +4 to the Dockers. Only 4 inside marks for each team, finding it hard to find targets in there, loose space. That is something they need to try and work out. As I said, I'd love to see little Isaiah Dudley coming in there off the bench, being the sub there for the Dockers. I want to see him get a little bit of spark. The pressure, 53 each tackles, but have a look at this, 22 inside defensive 50 tackles for the Hawks. The season average is 10. They're already at 22. This is what the Dockers need to lift on. This is why Hawthorn, the ball living in their area a fair bit, and the small forwards can get to work around those stoppage clearances, etc. like that, putting the pressure on, causing the turnover, and allowing to get those goals, which they probably shouldn't get. 6 tackles inside the forward 50 there for the Dockers. Come on, lift that. I know you're slightly above season average, but this is an area you want to lift in as well. All right, that's a little bit of a take on the opening half from myself, and of course some of the commentators from the ground. WA Footy Kid, good to see you again. He's saying g'day to everyone. He's saying go Hawks. WA Footy Kid going for the Hawks. That's strange. How come you're not a Freo supporter or a West Coast supporter? Oh, unless you're a West Coast supporter and you want the Hawks to win. That makes sense. Albert's in the house. Good on you, Albert. There we go. I was doing some cooking. I was not watching. Oh, you're doing some cooking. Nice, having a little bit of lunch. Just a reminder that Ryan Avery Rogue One's doing a live stream on the 27th of July at 7:45 p.m. Open panel through StreamYard. So if you want to go up on Ryan's panel when he does his live on the 27th of July at 7:45 p.m., just get over to Ryan's channel. And there we go. You can jump up there and you can have a chit chat to Ryan. You might be able to talk about the footy, the Tigers or something like that, or whatever's going on. Ryan always does his nice walk in the morning along the along the coastline of the beach. It's just fantastic. And we're not going to, we won't show the live ladder again unless any Hawthorn supporters are in the house or Fremantle hit the front. We can show that again for Eddie G, just to give him a little bit of a smile on there. But there we go. Hey, I was just going to say, don't forget, we've got 3 games coming up tomorrow, folks. 3 games. We should be able to do some of those games tomorrow. It all kicks off at 1:10 p.m. Melbourne time tomorrow, and that, of course, pretty much all dead rubbers though tomorrow, but that's okay. We love our football and we're going to follow it. It all kicks off with Melbourne taking on North Melbourne tomorrow. That's game 1. Game 2 is St Kilda taking on the Sydney Swans. We'll probably be able to get the last 3 quarters of that game done. And, of course, to wrap out round 18, we've got Port Adelaide over there at Adelaide Oval taking on the West Coast Eagles. And, again, we should be able to probably get the last half of that game in, because a lot of these, the games tomorrow sort of run into each other. They're not as well spaced out as the games today. On Super Saturday, I suppose today they spread them out because the games were just so brilliant to listen to and watch. So still should be pretty good there for the games tomorrow. Anyway, we'll see what happens along there. There we go. So we're just about back and ready for the bounce of the ball for the 3rd quarter. Shouldn't be too good. Addy G, you still confident? Are you still confident with Freo going to take this game out? Or what do you think needs to improve? What do you think needs to improve? I think it's still up for grabs, this game. It's only 9 points of difference. Of course, Hawthorn leading at half-time. Fremantle, you know what? I do like when Fremantle start to get their run going. I know they try and set up. They've just got to just try and create a little bit more space, be a little bit harder at the ball. They've got to put a little bit more pressure on the Hawks in this quarter. Hawthorn, as we know, they don't like that real hard, tough pressure being put on them. And this is how you can break them open, I think. Dockers they've got to learn to put pressure on sides. A lot of the time I watch the Dockers, I just don't quite see that enough from them. And if they want to be contenders and not pretenders, they've really got to lift their pressure acts for 4 quarters. And, we need to see them. I think halftime came at a good time, especially for the Dockers. I think they can just take a breath, chance to reset. The coach will have a little bit of a word in their ear and their respective coaches. And they'll say, boys, this is what we're going to do. A little bit more like this, especially going in forward. I think they need to be put a bit more pressure on. Try and get that turnover if the forwards can't mark the ball. And this is where I say I hope they bring Isaiah Dudley onto the ground, not too far away, because I want to see him up there for the Dockers, causing havoc. One of the small men for the Dockers who's quite electrifying at times, as we've seen in past weeks. All right, we are just not too far away, still waiting for the game just to come back. And then we're going to take you back down there, because we're only about half a minute away before the bounce of the ball for the 3rd quarter, the second half here at Optus Stadium here over in Perth. All right, we are just about back. So as soon as they are back, we are going to take you straight down to the action. And here it comes, folks. Here it comes. Let's get ready for the 3rd quarter. Action-packed. They're just going through their stuff, and then we're going to be back. Come on, let's get this game cracking. Let's get it started. We've got lots of people in. Hey, thanks, everyone, for coming in. Don't forget, if you do enjoy the footy, don't forget, hit that thumbs up, smash that like. It's all free. You can do that. That's just the way that I know that you enjoy the game. All right, let's get back down to the action for the second half, where it's the Hawks by 9 points.
On the live ladder, trying to push towards the top 4. Fremantle will be trying to reverse things. And a win can send them into the top 8 by the end of round 18. Saturday night, plenty on the line in the West. Fremantle and Hawthorn as we are underway, and Darcy is going to knock it down, but we'll get a restart after the build-up.
Both sets of players were keen to get out there, perhaps. They're in position very early. They're loving this battle. It's been a great one.
It's only the 7 goals to 6, but the arm wrestle and the physicality and the pressure that's been in the game has been brilliant to watch as the ball goes forward for the Hawks, but taken away by Ryan. Kick to the wing, and they get to Brayshaw. Sicily just with that little extra body nudge, and then Brayshaw just delayed the kick. Voss waits and swallows it under some pressure from Impey.
Haven't seen a lot of him tonight so far, just the 3 possessions.
He's going to send it high, deep inside 50. He's wanting Tracy. Barris is there with a double fist. And a chop of the arms, in fact, goes the way of the defender.
Yeah, very rarely do you see that. He doesn't even know it's his free kick. Barris, he's running back to set up. It's been a...
They are playing a free kick here. They're all setting up for a boundary throw.
Still are.
Oh, they've gone to... Maybe it wasn't Barris. That's interesting.
Mistaken identity, possibly. Not sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Dangerous ball. O'Meara crunched at the back of Morrison. Gathered the footy. Chips it up. Switkowski.
That's the defence that we saw early in the game where the Hawks are trying to switch the ball long and then go open side all the time. This time, O'Meara was onto it. Really good spoil, then a nice pass into Switkowski.
Well, this will be the 3rd shot at goal from a slow back pocket switch, Pav, which they started the game like this, you're right. Haven't seen a lot of it since then, so shows good intent from Fremantle.
A bit of confusion around the Hawks free kick, but the Dockers lock it in their forward 50. And on his return, already got one. Switkowski now has 2. And a perfect start to the 3rd for Freo.
We saw this a lot in the first quarter in particular, where the Hawks are trying to switch the ball and get the ball out to the open side. And when it happens, well, geez, they open up, but you can't do it when you've got players just sitting there like this one. So it's a long switch, hangs in the air for quite some time. O'Meara comes forward, affects the spoil, gets the ground ball, and it's a nice pass in.
It's a really good finish again from Fremantle. It's an odd part to the game. It's been such a contest, such a grind, but there's been 3 goals that Hawthorn have really conceded through exiting their D50 in a slow manner, trying to go around. It's really not suited to what the game's been giving us tonight so far.
For his latest injury, it started to get back around the goals a little more. Sam Switkowski, after a quiet start to the season. In terms of kicking majors, that's a big one there for Fremantle to begin the 3rd quarter. It's Darcy, slap it down. Nash gets a clean run at it, but he fumbled and left it behind. Sarong couldn't gather either.
Yeah, it's certainly slippery down there. It's down there at half-time, and a lot of moisture, and the ground is holding up okay, but there's been a lot of matches, whether it's rugby and other things at this stadium the last 6 or 7 weeks.
Sarong flicked it back to Clark. Now Chapman, chopped off by D'Ambrosio. He's trying to find an option. It wasn't the 15 in short to Newcomb. Took the Dockers a little while to realise it. Had time to go across to Amos, and now the lead is on. It's just through the fingertips of Dear, who was trying to hang in the air for an awful long amount of time for the footy to arrive to him. And now it's Fremantle who can break. Jackson, Switkowski on the burst back to Jackson. Running in waves. They go wide instead for Amos. Kept a cool head. Luke Jackson found a target. They go to the pocket for Frederick. And they almost cough it up, but there'll be a free kick. The chop of the arms will get them out of jail there. It looked one kick too many. But the Dockers get another opportunity here. And they've got a chance to hit the front.
Yeah, he got away with it, did DJI Amos. The umpire was a late call, in fact. But what about the run from Luke Jackson? He was actually standing the mark here, right at the back of the square, half-back line, and then he just took off as soon as that ball was turned over, gets the 1-2, and Frederick's going around the corner.
Replayed the free kick. Frederick receives it. He'll step out. He'll snap it through. And Fremantle pinch the lead back.
Another goal from turnover.
Yeah, a good play from Fremantle. The centre-back turnover. Don't get them too often in nights like tonight, but the pressure's just dropped away from Hawthorn the first 5 minutes.
There is Jackson.
Yeah, you see the run here and the open space they didn't have in the first half. I mean, Hawthorn's pressure's down to 116 at the moment, as it was over 200. And to do that to Fremantle, they do know how to cut you through the middle. And a player like Jackson, who's got the attributes we spoke about earlier, and that free kick was there. Probably wasn't necessarily the kick, but once again, they've started well, Fremantle, and Hawthorn just a little bit off with their pressure.
Jackson's run and spread for someone who's near 200 centimetres. He's a luxury to have. He's in there, the centre bounce. He hasn't had a huge night, but good player.
Up as a midfielder. It's out of the middle. Brayshaw's little kick wouldn't be the 15 for Morrison. Feeds it back inboard. McKenzie, good hands to release. Impey now with some run and dash, but it's a high kick into the pocket. Gunston got an early shove from Ryan. Got away with it. Ginnivan now after it. He goes straight to the boundary line. Boundary throwing.
This is what they've been very good at all night. Their forward 50 stoppages, number 23, Simo. Yep. It is. They've had inside their forward half and inside their forward 50, and they've actually been better than Freo in this area of the ground.
Link cleared a path. Just missed McKenzie. Johnson gains some ground. Amos working hard. Battle with a terrific tackle. Not rewarded. The Dockers will burst through. Johnson to Brayshaw. They're out again and they find Boss. No! Great lunging spoil away from Hardwick. Saved the day for the Hawks. And they survive that 4A forward. Impey goes long, but Jackson in the row.
What a great work from Hardwick was to come across and just affect the spoil. Boss was waiting for it to land in his lap. The kick, not quite enough penetration, but this man started the third quarter very well. Luke Jackson got ball side of his opponent on that occasion.
All to go. Hits it high in hope towards the 50, and it landed in the lap of Meek. Happy to accept it. A dangerous kick, but he made it work okay. Ginnivan out of defence. The team's taking it on a bit more to start this third quarter, perhaps. Connor McDonald back to Moore. He goes to a 2-on-1 at favoured Fremantle. Sarong brought it down. Wagner. A little more space to start this third quarter for both sides. A little more run and dare as they try to take it on. That was scooped up by Wagner. Surely a throw. It was.
Well, it was the right idea to slap it on, but unfortunately it just was scooped on rather than slapped on. So the intent was right. It's not quite the execution.
Sicily's kick. Ginnivan. He wants to go corridor. He kicked for McKenzie. Really presenting forward. Go wide. Battle. Now trying to call someone to him. Long kick out towards Gunston. Ryan was dragging him down.
He didn't have to do it either. Gunston, I don't think was going to get up that high and mark the ball, but it was two. What he did really well, Gunston, as he has for a long period of time, was engaged and then drew the contact again from just there. So no need for that for Ryan.
It's a craft war when you play against Gunston, and they're both defensively. Ryan's got good craft as well, so it's been a good battle all night. Not sure if he's got the legs for this though.
Top of the square.
Multiples in 11 games this season. He's got one already. He will give it a ride from distance. It'll land in the square and easy enough for the Dockers' defence.
He's a frustrating piece from the coach's box. You sort of know it's going to be punched through for a point, and there's other avenues you can do, pull kick or spot kicks or look for something else other than that.
Yeah, 30% or thereabouts, generally from the AFL competition, so you're right, there's other triggers to pull there.
Fremantle run it out of defence. Clark up the line. Jackson there, got hands to it and paid the mark.
Starting to have influence this quarter. He's had that type of year where he might be quiet for a quarter or two, but you can't keep him down for 4 quarters.
Just roaming around the ground. He made the kick tough for Clark. It was up to the task, who then made it tough for Frederick. Hawthorn win it back. Newcomb. Impey. Being corralled. He step read to perfection. Numbers favour the Dockers up the line. And Oscar McDonald will claim it.
Yeah, Dear's looking very likely in that matchup. Kath?
You can see Hawthorn sub Finn McGuinness is on the field, so we're just awaiting confirmation from the Hawks who's been subbed off and why.
Thanks, Kath. Let's see if that's an injury or something Sam Mitchell's wanting to change as they go long up the line. All punched away. There's McGuinness into the action. Brought down. Had it a while, but he did get a clean kick forward. Now Hawthorn through Morrison. Ginnivan tried to get creative, just had to heave it back inboard. Chapman was there. Still threatens to spill. Eventually Dear is called.
I just think the Hawks would definitely like the matchup of Dear and McDonald. They like the matchup as we take a look at the bench. McKenzie looks like he's been the one that's been subbed. So But you look forward for the play for the Hawks, and I reckon they'll like what they're looking at in terms of the matchups down there.
Guinness in there. McDonald's. Wagner. Feed it to Banfield. Off half back. They'll try to break. Oscar McDonald for Reed. Goes backwards to Chapman. And then wide to Reed. The kick's not hitting the target though. It's inviting the pressure. Impey was right there. Moore taken high.
Good pressure there. The seed pressure kicked in then. Just when you thought Fremantle just got a little bit of ascendancy on this game, Hawthorn's pressure picks back up, and no surprise he had a turnover in the forward 50.
We'll think about the goals.
It's like he is another situation where you do train these things to look early, look late, or you just back yourself in, Pav.
Back himself in from the tight angle. Hits it pretty well. Hits it to shape back, but it's just rinse and repeat for the Fremantle defence.
The look early, look late's a really good one, because either it's on really early as soon as you get the ball, or pretty much it's shut down to the last moment you can pull that kick. So it's always we talked about how coaches get frustrated. I think forwards get frustrated as well.
Clark for Chapman. Doesn't get much tighter. And
They've been sloppy. They've been sloppy. Both teams have turned it over a bit. Yes, there's pressure out there, but even when they haven't been under pressure, the Dockers, they've invited, Simo, you called it, the pressure of the Hawks. That one's another turnover in your back half. Opens the door.
this stop is a lot closer to goal. Hawthorn trying to rip it out of there. Johnson wrestling with Warple.
I think the two ruck situation, Pav, with Jackson getting better as the game goes on, is because of the two ruck situation, you've got the luxury of playing him anywhere you want.
I think so,
you need.
Absolutely.
And a big discussion point all season. Darcy smothers that one. Bolton was clean. Sarong, Clark, they burst away with speed. And a driving kick long. Tracy and Hardwick, the foot racers there. Tracy gained some more metres. He lost his footing. Now Amos is down there battling against two. They force it to the boundary line to get their own stoppage inside 50.
So it worked in the end in terms of getting some territory. Well done by Tracy as Sean Darcy comes off, and Luke Jackson's going to end up in the ruck. But they had out numbers there, the Dockers. They could have linked up a little bit more by hand, drove with their legs, and then potentially had a shot running into the forward 50. No one here for
no ruck
at all.
Yep, they didn't make that switch well at all. The miscommunication with two rucks out there, and it's forced back over and again, and both teams didn't have one.
Yeah, even Nash is right now just going, okay, yep, okay, I didn't realise I'm the ruck. Jackson there putting his hand up, so quick changes, put both teams out.
Jackson to the front this time. Newcomb. Under pressure from Brayshaw, he just dropped the footy out and pile in on top. So many stoppages.
There's lots of tackles as well. 60 to 56.
High pressure game. O'Driscoll trying to take it. Even down low on the footy, but it'll be a ball up.
Only round 18, but the numbers in terms of pressure and clearance and tackle feels like a final in some ways, Simo.
Absolutely. That's what's on the line. They battle for positions in the top 8. Jaff is wrapped up. He'll stay inside 50 for Fremantle.
Important time for Meek to get some rest too, going against two legit rucks. Can Nash do the job?
Trying to get it out there. It spills to Sarong on the boot. In the pocket. Barris was infringed upon. And the free kick given away by Voss. And Jaff been tackled to the turf afterwards by Banfield.
Pretty heavy tackle.
See the initial free kick. The ball goes long. It's a half-back for Hawthorn. They come again well at the spill. Amon to Ginnivan. Looking back inboard. It's a dangerous kick, but it worked.
I mean, good by foot at times, the Hawks. I think Fremantle have just been a little bit off with their defence. It's been good ball use.
That's kick. Really favoured Brendan Cox there. Haven't seen too much from Chol tonight for the Hawks. Tracy down low.
Doesn't have much of it. It's only 6 disposal.
They run inboard. O'Driscoll trying to get on that left boot. Jackson, Wagner. The support there from Clark. There's that dump kick forward. Amos wrestling. Barris left early. And the Hawks will recover. Switch it out to Newcomb.
And they're out here.
Some space to run. Sicily. Chol waiting up the wing. They go by hand instead, short to Morrison. Now to Chol. Runners inboard. Kicking options too. Connor McDonald. Clark throws late, but a pushing free kick.
Wow.
What do you think of that, Pav?
A good spot. You?
Yeah, I suppose it was. I think I agree.
Into the pocket. Gunston. Oscar McDonald for company, and Watson sees it out.
It felt like it was a good spot, didn't it?
It's for Sam Mitchell to ponder.
Yeah, I don't think they've started as well as they finished this third quarter as compared to the second. Been a little bit off. Fremantle opened the game up a little bit.
Spills out the back. That boundary throw in, but Chapman works it on the boot up the wing. Barris with strength, but he knocked it straight to Tracy, who weighted down. Nobody forward, though, for Fremantle. The Hawks wait for the bounce. Battle. Hardwick. Then Corral. Finds D'Ambrosio. Out wide by hand to Amos. Won a lot of it. Disposal 21, and he turns this one over. Sarong over the top. Switkowski with the step pass. Jack now can lower the vision. Bullet pass for Amos.
Well done, Shea Bolton. Brilliant defence. I was a little bit critical of them a couple of times where they've just been maybe one or two steps off those 45 kicks back inside the Dockers when Hawthorn have been trying to cut them apart going up the ground, but Bolton says, nah, not this time. Sarong, have a look at this step from Switkowski. Had Murphy Reid in support, but lowered the eyes, hit the leading forward.
Switkowski been important on his return from injury. Amos pretty good from this spot. Long kick. He'll load up from the paint, and he hooked it immediately.
Well, the stats, maybe that's why, because he kicks me out in the field. I think he does struggle around the arc there. You can see that last couple of steps are so different in his routine to when he's inside about 40 metres.
Going for that extra distance. Long ball out. Link was there. Ginnivan. D'Ambrosio tackled over the line.
Just trying to work out who stepped up in this quarter.
Just checking on that. Yeah, there's a bit of action there.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved.
Well, I think Fremantle stepped up. They're on top around the ground balls. They're at +4 clearances. They've got the crumbing back on even keel. So they've elevated their game, I think.
Ginnivan now leading the disposals for Hawthorn. As Reid is tackled.
They needed to, Simo, because at half-time they were down -22 in contested possession, -17 in ground ball, and -6 in clearance. So,
and it's traditionally been a strength of theirs. So no doubt that's what they focused on coming into this third quarter.
Jackson hit out straight to meet. Nash, Ward, knocked away from Sarong. Ginnivan took just a little too long. No free kick paid. Fremantle take it. O'Driscoll, Johnson under heavy pressure. Still trying to get it out of there. Scrappy footy to win. Crowd getting invested.
So some front-on contact that drew some blood.
Well, we've got to stop. Just confirmation from Hawthorn that there was no injury concern for Cam McKenzie, who was subbed off, so that was purely tactical. Fremantle still have the sub up their sleeve. Isaiah Dudley, their sub tonight.
It's Kath Johnson. It's that high contact and straight from the ground. Roger got it to his boot. Up the wing. Good strength from Oscar McDonald. Now started to nudge Dear underneath the footy. Go long back down the line. Tracy and Jackson the targets, but Sicily can intercept.
he does that well, doesn't he? Times the push very well. He goes back at the ball.
I think the Tools have had a good night down back for Hawthorn tonight so far.
Absolutely.
Down the wing they go. Oscar McDonald the spoil. Warple shrugged to tackle. Meek back for Warple. Brayshaw in the road. Got it out to Jackson. They burst by hand again. Switkowski wanted options. He's still searching for one and found Sarong with the left boot inside 50. Pack forward out the back. Who's quickest to recover? Hardwick there again for Hawthorn and then battled cleverly. But Impey. Now some run for the Hawks. Jacks run down by Frederick. Dockers pressure, excellent. Switkowski to Warner. Wants his first goal for Freo. Threw the footy away. There's no use to being up inside 50.
No, he didn't know what to do. Trying to get back on his right.
Hasn't kicked one yet in his career. He thought perhaps flashed through the minds. In the end, Hawthorn get it and get out in some space. Ambrosio down the line for Newcomb. Open forward line. Gunston on the burst. Leading hard. Couldn't get it on quick enough, but the run continues. Amon's been brilliant. Sends it up to Ginnivan, who's also been busy.
Keeps running, doesn't he, Amon? And Jack Ginnivan, he's had stack of the ball tonight. Supposedly 24 coming up for him.
About to run around. He's really gone back behind the mark, which Jordan Clark's trying to point out to the umpire.
Third shot they've had outside of 50 this quarter.
He's got the distance here, hasn't he?
I don't know.
Going to go a drop punt. On 50, got close to the player on the mark. And the kick actually lands a little further out from goal. Creates that opportunity. Watson into trouble. Ryan brought him down. Big tackle.
I spoke about this. I go again.
There is no love lost out there. The umpire's just going to throw it up quickly. Rucks couldn't knock it through. We'll get another stoppage.
Hawthorn, we spoke about the crumbing. So just put it to the top of the square like that.
Yep.
And
create an
give yourself an opportunity.
So very nearly. Jackson down. Soccer. McDonald! He brought out the soccer skills and the celebration. And he poached one from the top of the square.
Well, they've had so many of these all night. The Hawks, forward 50 stoppages, winning the territory battle. And when you have so many, eventually a moment of brilliance or a lapse in concentration from the opposition allows you in. Let's have a look. I wondered if this went through a few pair of hands. Jackson wins it down. Slight fumble from O'Driscoll. Did it catch? If it didn't catch, a foot on the way through, it is a brilliant finish.
But it's pretty simple though, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're Hawthorn, the message is just get it to ground. Whether it's a stoppage, that's another ground ball decision that, you know, the marks are great and the goals outside of 50 are fantastic, but I think they could win ugly tonight if they concentrate on a couple of things in their front half. And for Fremantle, when the game's opening up a little bit, as you said, the ground ball gets there, they're actually looking pretty good on counter-attack as well. So it's a pretty evenly matched game tonight.
The nutmeg of the goalkeeper and Hawthorn
Score confirmed.
by 5.
Restart
We
play.
got it checked. If it flicked anything on the way through, it was perhaps Calsher Dear's lead, which would have been a goal in any result, but it is confirmed. And it stands. And Hawthorn lead it by 5. The arm wrestle continues. We're back in the middle and Nash. A good tackle. It spills free. Bolton releases Frederick. Just missed the handball, then a high tackle.
They'll put the whistle away for that holding the ball where you've got an arm free. And if he drops his legs and draws the high, it was definitely high.
Yeah, it's when they bring it upon themselves is the tough call the umpire has to make.
Newcomb couldn't hang on. McDonald, line turn, Fremantle down the line. Warner, he's got Brayshaw, taking the wrong direction though. Back for Warner. They can steady with Ryan. A dump kick will go well out of bounds on the full.
Just kept getting forced backwards then. They had an opportunity to probably stop and prop and try to drive and go forward rather than go backwards.
And Chol sent it in. Kick in towards the pocket. Punched away but stays in play. Watson from the pocket trying to produce a bit of brilliance. So very nearly.
Quick question, if it floats out of bounds and lands back in, is it out the full?
No,
Right.
I don't think so.
I think if it crosses the line, it is supposed to be
Okay.
out on the full.
Just wondering.
It's supposed to be an infinite line up
You're our man with that.
as the ball. It'd be a tough one to call though. As the ball goes from Amos, now Sicily inside 50, just punched out of the hands. Watson wanted the mark. Ryan got there, and then Warner's kick will cough it up. The pressure being felt.
Yeah, pressure's enormous for both teams. They have butchered the ball a couple of times, the Dockers.
Morrison, and he sends it into the pocket.
There was your example.
There you go.
You called for it.
Or was it perhaps?
Boundary throw in.
Okay.
Crowd wanted insufficient intent. I think they were a little ambitious with that one.
You know what? The way they're going tonight, a 450 stoppage is as good as a long shot for goal at the moment.
Thrown in, Meek, down, Newcomb, Nash, Warner, body to body, it spills, McGuinness was strong in there, trying to get it back to McDonald. Brayshaw threw a boot at it, Bolton cleanest to Banfield. O'Driscoll, nothing up the wing, so he had to go by hand. He showed too much of it though to the Hawks. McGuinness back inside 50, repeat entries, punched by Clark, he'll claim the mark. Cleverly done.
Yeah, he's had a good quarter, Jordan Clark. He had a fair bit of ball in the first half, but this is disposal number 10. He's gained almost 300 metres this quarter alone, so a few of his teammates will heed his advice and go forward with the ball rather than back.
Lost half the contest with Sicily. Hawks have been threatening. Dockers get it on the boot. The bounce from Frederick. Goes over the top. Barris to Impey. Again, they can take some turf and then launch it long. They want someone to fly. Punch came from Freon. Wagner at the spill. Away to Brayshaw. Again under pressure. Straight back to Impey.
Just lost a bit of forward structure here, the Dockers.
Hawthorn just get that connection. He looked out of position there, Gunston. He caught one across the ear for his trouble, but he takes the mark. Had a chance to go back.
It's a bit sloppy with the ball use. Great pressure from the Hawks, and then forward structure not quite set up in front of the ball because it has lived in their D50 the last probably 4 or 5 minutes.
You're captain of the side, Pav. What would you be telling your players out there if you're Fremantle at the moment? They've lost a bit of control, yeah.
Gunston having a terrific season. He's kicked plenty of these before from 50. Good connection, but not quite enough. And Darcy back again. They've had a lot of opportunities, the Hawks, in this term, but just not able to capitalise or get enough reward.
Matthew Johnson in the Fremantle change rooms at the moment, just getting stitched up following that blood rule.
Thanks, Kath. So you start to approach three-quarter times. 3-on-1 there, Tracy. Didn't want to bring it down, but Morrison to Meek, to Nash. Knew he had Impey again. He's been busy. Out to Jaff. All to go. Inside 50, long ball. Jaff to the square. McGuinness! The super sub to the front. The unlikely flyer at the top of the square. They didn't mark him. And a big chance here for Hawthorn.
A massive mark from McGuinness. Takes the sting out of the crowd, takes the sting out of the match for the Dockers. It's along to the top of the square. This is where they've looked the most threatening, not necessarily in the air. Wagner just doesn't go with his opponent. It's a good mark.
McGuinness loads up, close range. He sprays it out to the right, but he just snuck it in. McGuinness goals. The super sub with big impact just before three-quarter time.
Now the old rule of if your man goes, you have to go. Simo down back, and on this occasion McGuinness goes. Wagner gets just caught up in the pack a little bit. You have a look here. So McGuinness is doing the right thing, trying to block. Doesn't really affect too much there, but then he just slips around the side of the pack, comes in. This is way too easy. It's a good mark. It's good little craft to use the pack as you block effectively, but it's too easy.
Probably used to the small staying down at ground level, not flying. Wagner, and got caught out, but death of 1,000 cuts last 5 minutes, really. It's been in, out, in. As we see, the inside 50's there.
9 seconds to go. What an arm wrestle we've had at Optus Stadium. Hawthorn getting an advantage through McGuinness goal right there before the siren at three-quarter time. It's been a game full of plenty of pressure, high stakes, with so much on the line, and a vital 4 points that will tell a tale perhaps coming into the season and the finishing positions between these two sides. The Dockers started the third quarter well, but Hawthorn fought their way back and they turned for home with a 13-point advantage. Do not go anywhere. Massive final quarter coming up. Dockers on the back foot at home. Hawthorn trying to make it 5 wins in a row and push towards the top 4. It's the Hawks by 13.
Sportsbet presents.
All right, there we go. 3/4 time. It's 9-8, 62 the Hawks, the Dockers. They're kicking accurate, but 8 goals, 149. Come on, Dockers, what are you doing? Oh, you're in trouble. You know what? I tell you what. You know what? I'm really thinking the Dockers, well, I still think the Dockers are falling short in just those couple of really skilled players that can just have composure under pressure. I didn't see that. I didn't see that when the Hawks kept pressing it. And it looked like the Dockers, most of their forwards were down the back half. And when they did get a clear a ball out, it was just a Hawthorn when they went forward. So, you know, they've got to set up a little bit differently. You know, they have to bring on Isaiah Dudley. They've got to get him on, cause a little bit of spark. He's got some speed and agility. Bring him on. He is one player that does have that awareness and that composure even when under pressure. You got to bring him on. I tell you what, 13 points the margin. The one good thing for the Dockers, though, they can go bang, bang out of the blocks like they did in that quarter. They can hit them hard and hit them early. And I think if they do that, you know, they were doing that well. And then all of a sudden that run, that stop, it sort of just stopped. And then Hawthorn sort of took the ball back. And then the Dockers were left just chasing their tail for a fair bit of that third quarter. Like even here up until about the 5-minute mark, they were really good. Even here up to about the 10-minute mark, and then the Hawthorn sort of took control of the game, and the ball lived down their end a fair bit more. But I tell you what, Eddie G, I'm with you. Some of these umpire decisions, they're really bad. They're really bad. Fremantle should have got some of these free kicks or marks, etc., like that. You know, some of the Hawthorn players were caught holding a ball. It's just not given. It goes down there. Hawthorn get a free kick for high when the player ducks into it. They score a goal out of it. I think some of these umpiring decisions, they need to review this umpiring game out of this game, I think. I think the umpires have been on the Hawks side this game. Footy fever, hey, going to love footy. I tell you what, we love footy here too. Good to have you in here. Yeah, we cover a lot of the footy games here, so come on in whenever the footy's on and have a chat about footy. Let us know what team you go for. Of course, we've got everyone goes for all different teams in here, but we all love the footy. It's, you know, best game in the world. You got to love it. You got to love it. Hey, there was the Dockers only put on 2 straight goals in that third term. Mind you, the Hawks put on 2 goals for. The Dockers, I tell you what, tough umpiring night for sure. It is, and I think the umpires have made some terrible decisions out there. I don't know what they're looking at half the time. But yeah, if the Dockers, if the umpiring is pretty level in this quarter, at least that'll be something. But they really need to get on top of that. But the Dockers need to have a little bit of that tsunami, like the Giants get that and running in waves. Geez, when they do that, they look good. And there we go. And not always just do that one extra bounce or one extra kick, one extra handball possession. Just find your targets and bring them to it instead of just overstepping the boundaries by one some of the times. But you just never know. Look, the Dockers are well in this game. It's only 13 points, not much at all. I just want to see any of the goal scorers have changed. Just have a look at the multiples. Schwakowski, Frederick, Bolton, Amiss are the multiples with 2 for the Dockers. McDonald and Calsher Dear are the multiples there for the Hawks. Leading possession getters, Jack Ginnivan, 24. Andy Brayshaw, 24. Carl Lamont, 24. And, of course, Caleb Sarong, looking for a big quarter from him in the final with 23. Jordan Clark, 21. Joe Newcomb and Connor Nash, 21 and 20. They're your key stats up until 3/4 time. Whew, good luck. I won't put the... I'll put the ladder up after the game. After the game, we'll put the live ladder on. And, of course, I think everyone here is cheering for the Freo. Let's go Freo. Final quarter. We're only moments away. You can do it. As I said, let's jump out of the blocks, Freo. Let's jump out of the blocks. Let's take the lead. And let's continue to put that pressure. You've got to put pressure. Don't just slacken off. You can't afford to slacken off against Hawthorn or they'll tear you apart. All right, let's head back down to the action for the final quarter. Whereas Hawthorn by 13 points.
Group, you're saying, hey boys, stick to the same game plan. Keep it contested, keep the pressure on. We'll turn it over. We'll get in our forward half. And geez, we're crumbing well, so let's kick some more of those goals.
Hawks haven't gone with a heavy tag on Brayshaw and Sarong, who are the leading ball getters for the Dockers. They've gone head to head. It's been an arm wrestle all evening. What twists and turns do we have in store in this final quarter? And it's underway. Sarong will get it out of there to Jackson, to Brayshaw, cleverly knocked it on again. Now to Bolton, out of the centre to Switkowski, who's been important. Inside 50 to Dudley, who's been subbed in. His first touch of the footy, a high one to the square. Boss was there, but Sicily, it's knocked on and touched and through. And a behind to begin.
So confirmation from Fremantle, Banfield has been subbed. It's purely tactical.
Trying to find a way to find some more goals with Dudley.
Come on, Dudley.
It's Jackson trying to get it through. Walker went the wrong way, and it's gone straight to the boundary and will be paid insufficient intent.
Can't really argue with that. Perhaps there's other options than that one.
So here's this 50-metre kick again. Simo, we saw about 5 of them in the third term. To this side of screen, Andy Brayshaw looks like he might pop this to the top of the square though.
Looks up, goes into the pocket. Tracy presents offhand. Barris tackled, kicked to the boundary line, but Hawks players were there. Definitely a boundary throw in.
Sorry, perhaps it's so much more dangerous, doesn't it, when you try and make a little bit of a set play, and the worst case scenario is you get a forward 50 stoppage, you get to reload.
First goal of this final quarter, so vital. Hawthorn can put a bit of a gap in if they can score it. Fremantle will get some belief if it goes their way. Jackson, Meek's been strong all night. Jackson lays the tackle, get a ball up inside 50 for the Dockers.
Some interesting patterning there from both Switkowski and Brayshaw.
Watch them at this stoppage again. Dudley on the burst. Nash's handball. D'Ambrosio under pressure, puts it out of bounds on the full.
This is what we saw at the back end of the third term, where it lived in Hawthorn's front half, so the in-out-in play where there's enough pressure on the ball. Fremantle win it back. It's a slow held play though. Let's see what they do again, see if they can connect with one of their forwards.
Wagner teed up, looking for a leaper. Sicily camped there. Tracy knocked it down. Switkowski, brilliant rugby, and the finish.
Sam Switkowski is having some type of night. It's his 14th disposal, third goal, and he's been one of the ones around the ball, around the half-forward line that's sparking the Dockers. Simo, you've been calling for it all night. Get it to the top of the square, or at least some type of, let's have a look at the Bunnings build-up, because it was a nice kick in, great contest from Tracy, and this is what the Hawks have been doing to the Dockers so well all night, front and centre props. Look where he comes from. Jumps in, just that step to the right, reads it so well off the boot and that's off the hands and gets it on that left boot.
Yeah, it's great craft, isn't it? You know, and those types of plays, you train that. You don't just do it by luck. You know, the craft sessions after training with the forwards, just working those coming types of plays, pay you back.
On the average to goal every second game this season, Sam Switkowski has burst out for 3 goals in this one. Given Fremantle a spark to begin the last. Hawthorn have had the answers tonight so far. Can they respond? As Warple drives it in long, they wrestle off hands. At the spill again, they get it out to Joel. Snaps at goal, ball knocked down. Ryan and Gunston, Gideon flash through. Can he find enough space? Gets it back to Dear. Gunston tackle, got it out. Pressure red hot. Fremantle desperate in defence and they survive it.
Jeez, they look dangerous, the Hawks. Gideon was flashing through again. We've seen it all night, whether it's Watson, Gideon. A number of their small forwards just look so likely.
Now Hawthorn with the stoppage. The hit out down, Warple to ground. O'Driscoll's in there. I'll go at it again.
Repeat stoppage after repeat stoppage. Deep inside, your D50. Red alert for the Dockers.
Knocked by Jackson. Warple dropped down immediately and held up. Another baller.
Weird sort of night, hasn't it? So many 450 stoppages.
Meek and Jackson lock up again. Wagner, another stoppage.
This will be the 45th stoppage at someone's forward 50 for the night.
What's a typical night?
You get 15, you've had a good
Knocked down, Newcomb got it out. D'Ambrosio on that favoured left. Just didn't have enough time to get it away. And then Ryan missed with the handball.
I was going to say 20 might be a
lot.
Yeah, a big night. So it's amazing that it's just lived in both ends, particularly the Hawks.
The stoppage coach will be coding for a while tonight.
Long night ahead.
Contest. The pressure's been right up. Meek front position. Got it down. Moore on the burst. Try to crash through a couple. Dockers come up with it. O'Driscoll off balance. Heaved it out. Tracy there. Ball off hands. Brayshaw and Warple. Clark just gained some metres. Hawthorn set up though. Down the line. And Impey playing that sweeper roll again. Runs his distance. Leaves it back towards the 50 from the side. Great attack from Dear. Connor McDonald spun through on the boot. Joel! You create your own luck.
They were set up well behind the ball there, the Hawks. Impey was the extra one that could release back and was able to get first on it. Quick kick, lands in the lap of a forward in between about 3 or 4 others. Hasn't had a huge night, Joel, at all. Hardly touched the ball, but as a forward, can he take the moment?
That's what's presented to him. In a quiet evening. It's not been his night so far. Needs to take his moment in the last quarter, but cannot. He's hoping to get it to shake back late, but leaves it out there.
It hasn't been a key forward night at all, really, has it? Amos with a couple of goals from not much ball. Voss quiet, Tracy quiet. That's not a great kick.
Ryan's kick in. He was searching for Brennan Cox. And he's given it straight to Amos.
He's had a big night as well. 25th disposal.
Places it back in. Almost playing kick to kick with Ryan, but it spills over the back. It rolls end on end. It's almost heading goalward. And Oscar McDonald can rush it through.
100th game in a row tonight for Luke Ryan. Hasn't had a big night in terms of his impact in the game. He's still had enough of the ball, but Gunston's kept him very busy and he's been a bit sloppy by foot.
Clark out of full back. Darcy there. Tracy too. Spills through. Reed. And advantage is taken and paid to Fremantle. Frederick ran into trouble, but shrugged the tackler. An open forward 50. It's into the path of Boss.
He almost thought he tried to take on too much because a couple of players there, Frederick I'm talking about, has wonderful burst of speed, and this is where they have looked dangerous. The Dockers on turnover and going quickly.
But this is the way to go. Just take the game on, open it up a little bit, try and get them on counter-attack. I think Hawthorn will drag it in the trenches, and Fremantle look like they're running on top of the ground a little bit better in the open space, Pav.
Look like maybe a Chol at the other end. Hasn't been a big night for Patrick Voss, but he steps up to the plate. He tries to seize the opportunity, and he does just that. Tries to energise his team and brings it back to a 2-point game.
So it's from a kick out. Let's have a look at Frederick here. There's a push in the back to Tracy. Then they go quick. I almost thought there was a first give there and also there, but he was able to shrug and he's had a pretty good night, Michael Frederick. Up and back as that high half forward roll, and then to execute inside forward 50. This is the money kick. So he shrugs the tackle and then takes the responsibility on to hit the leading forward.
It's a score source from a kick-in, which doesn't happen too often. Probably 5% of the scores come from kick-ins. Definitely take that as a bonus.
Have a look at this reaction.
Pony's back.
He's up and about. 2-point game. Final spots on the line. 4 points up for grabs. Sarong gets it out of the middle. Frederick got a hand on it. Impey almost run down by Tracy. He just handballed it straight to the line. That'll be going Frio's way.
You can hear the crowd now.
They are into it now.
They've risen a couple of notches, the home fans. As Johnson goes into the pocket, it was wayward of Amos off the hands of Sicily.
Yeah, you can see Josh Tracy and a few others pleading with him, saying, hey, that wasn't a part of the game plan, but it does give them a forward 50 stoppage. Another one tonight.
Darcy in the ruck with Meek. Hawthorn can clear it well. Ward to Watson. Numbers favour Fremantle. Ryan was in front, dragged down. Hawks threatened to break with it. Cleverly done by Chapman. Got it back through to Brendan Cox. Kick goes back inside 50. They surge. Tracy there. Darcy. Important. Brought it to ground. Bolton elusive. First time. Not the second. Claimed by Amos. Brilliant tackle.
Yeah, wonderful work. He's been so good offensively, Amos tonight, but what about that for a tackle late when it matters most?
Margin stays at 2.
It's going to come down to moments now.
Yeah.
These are the great games you want to be part of. Who stands up? Look for the leaders. Look for predictability.
Long down the line. Shoulder the front. Darcy the spoil. Sarong swallowed in a big tackle.
Thanks, Caleb. At this lane, Lloyd, shot.
Every contest so vital in this one. Darcy down to Johnson. Touched off the boot. Voss tried to throw his boot at it. Left it instead for Sicily, who coughed it up to Reed. Wobbles one inside 50. Amos cleanly done. Releases Frederico. Fumbled at the crucial moment. Hawthorn still a chance to sweep it out. And if he'd taken that clean, it was an open goal.
Big moments. They're starting to come now. Good to great type of stuff, Pav. You'll see this step up. You've been a part of plenty of these games where...
Oh, the predictability is the first thing I think you talk about, and just composure with ball in hand. Just stay calm, take the ball first.
Meek, cleanly done. Moore, bounced off Brayshaw. Gets it out of the defensive 50. And he goes straight to the boundary, and that'll be going straight back. Insufficient intent coming in a flurry. Now Fremantle will want to switch. Long ball waits in the air for a long time for O'Driscoll.
There's not a lot ahead of the play. They're going to have to run and draw.
Does just that. Clark's got plenty of speed. He heaves it high, waiting for an option. Sicily well positioned. Amos did enough. D'Ambrosio there. Voss trying to surge it. Tracy, they wheel it forward. Outside of the boot, snapping footy. Dropped by Impey. Now he's under the pump. Some panic footy out there. Knocked away. Battle. His handball missed the target. Fremantle still a chance. Johnson after it. He gathers, bursts, lost it. No one can take it cleanly. Who wants to take the moment right now? Finals positions on the line. Bolton twists and turns. Back for Warner. Looks inside 50. They want to mark. Tracy! Almost. Amos there. Play continues. Hawthorn clear it. What a passage of play.
Incredible footy. Look at this. Jordan Clark set up behind the ball. Bodies flying everywhere.
This game is so vital for both of these teams' season. As the kick goes back in from Clark, Tracy sets himself. Darcy, unlikely, dribbles to goal, but D'Ambrosio saves it. And it's a one-point game.
Just wonderful display.
Yeah, and both young sides too are just working themselves out when it comes to finals and how to handle these big games. So, you know, this game's worth 10 regular games.
And D'Ambrosio set up well as the winger there, deep winger, the goal saver.
Impey brings it back in. Long tour contest. The crowd trying to lift their team. And it'll be a stoppage.
One thing Sam did back in the day, it was reliable, not remarkable. Just play your role, leave your ego on the hook.
Meek and Darcy got a fascinating battle between the two former teammates. McGuinness got it on the boot. Wagner set up. Fremantle
switches on.
holding it in their forward 50. A danger ball though. Jaff read it so well. And it breaks now for Hawthorn. Moore back for Jaff. Open forward 50. Fremantle trying to recover. Hawthorn still have it. Ginnivan goes long, but the Dockers get back and they scramble in defence. Hawthorn were almost away.
Well, the switch was on because they had two out. The kick was just poorly executed, but Jaff, as you called, cuts about 2 metres away from breaking Fremantle hearts and going all the way for a goal.
Wagner up the line. Tracy plants it.
He's presented well the last 5 minutes.
And he thought about going inboard. He wants to go more direct. 2-on-2 ahead of the footy. Amos there. Voss into the bread basket. Can recover. Options on. Short pass. Darcy. The big man having an impact in the last quarter.
So what Josh Tracy does, he's a bit more unpredictable when he gets the ball around that area. Generally, Fremantle like to build the ball up, where he just goes, whoosh, I'm getting it in because I'm a forward, and this is how I want it. So it allows the genuine one-on-one ahead of the play, and then Voss smartly lowers his eyes, maybe not so much smartly to a ruckman, but...
Well, time will tell.
Yeah, it will.
The fatigue's got to kick in at some stage. This has been frenetic, so we'll see who stands up.
Kicked a crucial goal from a set shot against the Saints a couple of weeks ago. He hits him pretty well off the shoe, and Big Sean Darcy gives Fremantle the lead in the last.
Great last quarter we've had, but Fremantle have been on top. Really, they've kicked 3 goals. Tracy standing up at big moments. Darcy's ball to the play there, which sometimes is by plan and sometimes it's not when you're fatigued. And pretty good contest, 2v2. Good composure from Voss, by the way. And so far, advantage Fremantle. It's the 2-ruck situation now. Darcy gets to have a spell and Jackson comes into the ruck and against Child, which could be a game-defining matchup in the next 5 minutes.
Picture-perfect postcard over the top of Optus Stadium. The full moon in effect. We've had a great night at the footy. What is to come through the last 10 and a half minutes? The Dockers have wrestled the lead back.
It's a big stat there, 10-1, forward half intercepts.
There's now Darcy. Brayshaw slapped it on. Jackson up there as a mid. Got it forward to Switkowski. He's got 3 goals tonight. Just missed Brayshaw. Newcomb, Ward, Hawthorn clear. Out to the wing, foot race on. Ginnivan, Clark, boundary line.
Just they're still running on top of the ground, aren't they? That was full tilt. Both Ginnivan and Clark. 49,000, sorry.
I was just about to say that 49,000 in the crowd is starting to become a factor in this game. They've been so loud down here on ground level this final quarter.
Huge number Saturday night in the West for a game that's got so much on the line. Hawthorn fans well represented too. The Dockers outnumber them and they're making some noise. Barris with a good punch away from Tracy.
It's been a great battle. Yeah, sorry, perhaps it has been a great battle all night. Tracy, though, has presented so well this last quarter as a key forward. Sometimes it isn't your night. It has been slippery. Both ends of the ground haven't had a huge night as key forwards, but he's presenting like there is no tomorrow. Barris right with him.
Darcy with the size on Nash in the ruck. That's where the 2 rucks can prove pivotal. There's O'Driscoll off his right boot. Snaps the ball inside 50. It went past Tracy. Amos there. Battle with a good tackle. It lingered a touch. And the free kick will go to the Docker, will it?
Was it for in the back? I think it was.
Noise so immense. The crowd were aware of it.
Well, the modern-day player always likes to go around the corner here. It's a long kick, though, from
to left foot. Yeah. I mean, if you're ever going to knock one over, it's from here.
And with the nickname Nev, bellies that one across the face. Voss attacked it, brought it to ground. And it's set away by Hardwick, but that's going out of bounds on the full.
There's the pressure at the moment. Cutting kicks out of the D50 for the Hawks. That's the issue when you're trying to kick that ball so far around the corner. You do belly it from time to time.
Chapman will load up with a kick into the pocket. He wants a leaper, and Barris will claim it, as he's done plenty of times on this ground in his former colours.
Yeah. Well read from Barris. He was standing way off and just floated, and he's done it so many times, as you call, perhaps. So this is the composure the Hawks now need. Just own the ball for a little bit longer. There's been chaos in the game, which has suited Fremantle mostly this second half.
Long down the line they go. Punched away by the Docker defence, but read by Gunston. Freo have the sweeper back there in Ryan. He's got some time if the ball sits for him. He looks across goals. Has to be good with a kick and finds Johnson.
He had to work hard. Did Johnson. There'll be that first release kick for Ryan, who'd work back hard.
Now to a one-on-one, and Voss in the bicep, almost burst the footy as he took the mark. And the kick was poor, but the mark was dropped. Dudley trying to knock it on. Hawthorn trying to recover. Amos didn't take it. Hawthorn with the extra numbers here, and they can get out by hand. Hardwick, Amos along the ground, he had to go. Went past McDonald, collision coming up. Watson there, Johnson didn't go down, and now McGuinness is after it. Into the path of Morrison. There'll be some tired legs, some tired bodies out there. It has been a pulsating contest. The crowd riding every single hit in this one.
Inside 50s, 13-6 in favour of Fremantle. It's been their quarter, really, hasn't it, Pav? It's what does Hawthorn have left to give? Feels like the maturity levels of Fremantle slightly in front of the moment.
This type of area of the ground, those stoppages, has been where the Hawks have mostly had the game in their favour tonight.
And through the legs of Sarong and Newcomb, Johnson got it out to Warner. And now Bolton didn't get the handball over the top. Just went with a high kick up the line. Amos and Sicily wrestle. Voss up to meet it. Spills Fremantle's way. Amos inboard. Reid looks up. Tracy!
Well, we've spoken about the tours, and I think in the last 15 minutes, the Fremantle tours have really gained ascendancy. Voss, obviously Tracy, Amos has been most of the day, he's been around abouts, but whether it's fatigue, whether it's effort, whether it's maturity, whatever.
Supply helps as well, doesn't it?
Supply, absolutely. 14 inside 50-6, but
7 minutes to go. Rio eyeing off a spot in the top 8 on the boot of Josh Tracy. They extend their lead. Fremantle making their move.
So going from the stoppage this one, and we talked about supply this last quarter. Well, the midfield has got to work. Still plenty of time in this match, 6 minutes to go, but it's been the ability of some of their mids to really get to work. And then look at this, the contest from Amos. Good work from Voss, beelines the ball, they get it forward. Tracy tracks back, ticks back up at the ball carrier. It's a standard the forward mid connection there. It's really hard to stop if you Barris running into space. Nice kick from Reid, and then what Tracy does really well, takes his time and flushes it from 50.
with your Hawthorn, there's still time, but you're going to have to activate something different. There's some sort of card flashed up in the next minute, Pav, that says, take the game on.
The atmosphere at Optus Stadium electric. And Hawthorn fight back. He's out of the middle. There's a free kick by the umpire off the play. It goes the Dockers way.
Not sure there was much in that. Shea Bolton played for the free kick and got it. Still plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure going into fourth gear's the right.
Frederick had to hang on and did.
It's a good pair of hands.
Given a lot of love. Look at Tracy on the burst as he crashed through. He threatened to take it again. The Dockers press, the Hawks escape. And it goes wide to the wing. It'll bounce to the boundary. McDonald will take it over.
Some of the things they can try, Hawthorn, is hold the six forwards, pull them right back, make the ground as long and as wide as you can.
Even from this stoppage, we could write a screen there. You could say, right, go, who's it, McDonald or even McGuinness there, go another 5-10 metres forward.
There's still enough time to do something a little different if needed.
Jackson to the front, on the throat of Sarong, knocked on by Bolton, punched on by Sarong. Amos went sweeping and winning a heap of it this evening. Warple's hands were good. And the Hawks get going. Moore's handball's just a half volley there for Connor McDonald. And then it's going to be locked up. 5:54 remain.
Yeah, they've been setting up two forwards to most of the stoppages throughout the night, Hawthorn, and maybe it's time to pull them back and give a bit of space at the front.
Yeah, McDonald's still in there. You can see Wagner sweating off him.
Sarong controlled it, had it for an eternity. Still got a toe to it. Ball knocked down. Here's where Watson can get busy. Hawthorn looked threatening. He tucks it under the arm. He burns him away with pace, but lost it. In the fingertips, Chapman across, and they see it out. Luke Ryan's happy with the effort. Watson almost was in towards goal.
Eric saw Chapman. Let's hope that's not a soft tissue injury, maybe an ankle or a bit of a corky, but the chase and the pressure, front on pressure, First class. Here's what's been a massive strength for the Hawks all night. Can they jag another one?
Stoppage inside 50 for Hawthorn. Meg flicked it over the back, looking for Warple. Johnson a toe on it, and then the tackle lingered. And the free kick will go to the Dockers. And footy not given back, that'll be 50.
See, that relieves the pressure.
Absolutely. It really hurts. Just seen a really mature Fremantle handle this so far with 5 minutes to go. As you see the 50 coming up in a second.
So the rule is it has to go back on the full to the receiving player. And that's the umpire was
Tried
there.
too hard to catch it though, did they?
Well, it was intended for Johnson. I think it sort of went to Ryan a bit more. Danger ball here. McDonald had to go. Ginnivan there too. Foot race on. Good tackle from Ginnivan. Hawks have the extra number here. The help arrives, but Hawthorn can extract it. Connor McDonald to Moore. Hawthorn just lifting back into it. High ball goes inside 50. Watson looks a leap, but it's Chapman off hands. Dockers go to ground. Brayshaw an important touch. Clark in there. Johnson, look out. McGuinness almost had him. Clark out of defence. High kick, long kick, too much on the kick.
Some panicked kicks. You talked about mature. Well, that wasn't a mature minute there for the Dockers.
Look, there's 4.5 minutes to go. They'll learn so much from this game, both sides, on how to handle this next 5 minutes.
11-point margin, 4.5 to go. Hawks need a goal. Gunston trying to provide. He goes back again at ground level. Then lost it with a handball. Kick was smothered off the boot of Brendan Cox. Spills out. Switkowski wants the boundary and finds it.
So here's where you're right, I think, Simo. You're forward for Hawthorn drag as deep as you can get. Create some space at the front of the stoppage. Perhaps get someone on the fly over the back. Drag your winger out so there's some space there behind the ruck.
Ball knocked down. Jackson to ground.
That's exactly what Meek was trying to do, was trying to flick it over the back. Yeah. So if you're Fremantle, you're going to be red alert everywhere here.
Probably could have spared Tracy or someone to go behind the play. You would have thought the next minute or two.
Still got a bit of time there.
Ball tapped down. Jackson after it. O'Meara. And they'll be happy to take seconds off the time clock.
So Frev got 4 ahead of the play.
Jackson down. Brayshaw couldn't find it. O'Meara after it. Boundary line.
Just wasting 5 or 10 seconds on each of these stoppages. Drop it in close. Don't get anything on the fly. Don't let their opposition ruckman put it in a dangerous position.
Fremantle playing in 3 close ones in a row. They got over the line against the Saints. They couldn't get it done against the Swans. They're battling hard here against Hawthorn. That's a high tackle. Newcombe overzealous. And the footy kicked away well after. Is that 52? And Wrestle and Mira's not happy with the treatment on Switkowski. The kick will be taken at half back.
So if you're Hawthorn here, you're stopping any type of short 45s, or you want to force it down the line and try to get some speed off this, even though it's going to be kicked to the half-back line.
Up the line, Tracy presents again. A chop of the arms to call.
Been massive in this last turn.
Yeah, Tracy was stood up.
Looking down towards 3 minutes. Hawthorn need 2 goals. Fremantle going in to save the game though. They're happy to chip the footy around. Line will be forced now.
What are they taking? 15 seconds off the clock there.
See,
Still plenty of
signs
time.
on the Hawthorn box, got the letter J written on, whatever that means.
Off the hands of Jackson, into Tracy, bouncing footy. Amos with some push and shove, takes it away from Frederick, turns around, left foot snap, high ball, goes to the square. Voss cleared a path, spills towards the goal line. McGuinness just gets it over. Now possession back to Hawthorn. 12 points is the margin, 2 kicks in it. 2:37 remain. Hawthorn have to be brave. They have to show dare. They go straight down the middle, and it works for them almost. Watson after it. Switkowski again with speed. What a return it's been for him. 3 goals and a great effort right there as the kick goes long, and Brayshaw.
He's been one of the best players on the ground, Sam Switkowski. Yeah, he's had some impact ahead of the play, but some of his defensive efforts have been incredible.
Now Sarong. Looks inside 50. They want to mark. Voss to the front. Almost. In the pocket. Hawthorn try to clear it. It's getting tough for them now. Fremantle have really dominated this last quarter. Sarong with desperation. Reed, it was touched. Meek punches it on. Now Nash. Out to McGuinness. Good tackle from Sarong. The pressure has been huge all evening. O'Meara to Reed. Ginnivan's got him. Bolton's handball into Wagner. Meek swallows him up. Voss in the pocket. Snap. Close range. Misses. A handy point, whichever way you look at it.
So you saw it, Timo. Luke Ryan's been activated behind the ball, or even more so. Probably some wingers have come back, some high half forwards.
Now a 13-point margin. Hawthorn have to go the step from Ward. It'll be super tough with the time on the clock, especially when they cough it up to Bolton. Out wide for Brayshaw. Morrison's got the footy. Now Moore looks up to half forward, a bouncing footy. Gunston in there. He's tackled, and the Dockers hold firm again. Ryan to Clark. He'll go by hand to O'Driscoll up the line. It has been a mighty effort from Fremantle in the final term. Jackson couldn't take it. Meek after it. Down to about 30 seconds as Amos slips. Off hands, Watson, Gunston. Through to Watson, a chance for a late one here. Crunching tackle from Brennan Cox. It's been a theme of the night. They win the free kick. The Freo fans are on their feet. The players are just about out on theirs, but Brayshaw wants some more.
I mean, both teams have given everything tonight, haven't they? Ebbed and flowed. It's been
A knee from his teammate, and Luke Jackson. And Fremantle will send the ball long up the wing. It'll spill through to Amos as the seconds tick down. The siren imminent. A huge performance by the Dockers. They responded in the final quarter from 13 points down to win it by 13 points. A big Saturday night that means so much for the finals push. Don't book the Bahamas just yet. Fremantle are into the 8th. This season is racing to a big finish.
I just asked Andrew Brayshaw, are you still right to talk because you're wiping the blood off your face, but you've got a massive smile on your face too. What a win.
Yeah, I mean, massive week. Sonny retiring. To be able to play that brand of footy for 4 quarters against a really strong outfit. Very proud of the boys.
How much was Sonny a factor in pumping you guys up tonight?
I mean, he's someone who's played at the club for 17, 18 years with his heart on his sleeve. And we tried to play with a bit of his passion. He's given so much to the club, so yeah, to get him a win tonight was really special.
You let me know if you all feel dizzy during this interview as I see the blood rushing down from your face. But talk to us about the game because, gee, it was high pressure. It was so absorbing to watch. What was it like to play him?
Oh yeah, it was hot in there. They're a really strong contest side. They've got an elite midfield, so we tried to be really physical and aggressive from the start. Gave our forwards a chance and to kick 12-5 really straight, elite from our forwards and our backs held up all day.
A fortnight ago, you put on a great final term against the Saints to win. Felt like the same tonight. What was the message at three-quarter time?
Well, yeah, we're starting to really believe that we're a really solid four-quarter team. We've got 2 rucks that can play out the rest of the games, and we really try and use that as an advantage. I thought they were both exceptional tonight, particularly in the 4th quarter. But yeah, the group's got a lot of belief. We're really confident with the way we're playing, and yeah, really fun part of club to be a part of.
What does this mean for the team?
Oh, yeah, massive. I mean, we've got Sonny's whole family here tonight, and everyone, the whole footy club loves him, adores him. So yeah, send him off like this is pretty special.
I really feel like I need to let you go to the doctor. Thanks for chatting, Andrew. Enjoy this.
Thank you very much.
Well, it just typifies Andrew Brayshaw leading his way through the interview as well. And
no HIA before that interview.
No, it cuts to the head. He certainly did, and a huge win for the Dockers. They will continue to celebrate with Michael Walters out there enjoying it as well. As we get down to Calsher again.
Can't wipe the smile off this man's face either. Welcome back, Sam Switkowski. What about that for a win?
Yeah, awesome win. The crowd was awesome. Helped us get over the line. Love playing in these games against quality opposition. And fortunate enough to get the job done.
Everyone talks about your footy IQ. How did you see the game and what got you over the line tonight?
Yeah, I think first half it was a field position battle. We probably had it on our terms in the first quarter but couldn't capitalise on the scoreboard, and then they probably dominated the second quarter but we actually held up okay. And I felt like we just had to fight it out for a bit longer at the end. The game well and truly opened up. It was probably who could turn it over the least at the end. But I felt like we were able to capitalise and do enough to get up and get the win.
I think I have to let you go here because there seems to be a tribute to Sonny Walters. So thanks, Sam. Well done.
Very much.
Switkowski with the 3 goals. It was good. And Michael Walters clearly still having an impact, even though he wasn't out there playing tonight. He shares a moment with a former teammate in Lloyd Meek, and great class here by Hawthorn as well.
Yeah, they do this well, don't they, clubs now? Acknowledge the game's greats, involve the families, the emotional day. Makes it a bit better when your team plays like that, though. Perhaps it's bittersweet, though, because you sort of want to be a part of it, you want to be running around, but he's done the best thing for his club, as much as he's done over the years.
Recently retired, and that knee injury just calling an end to his career, Michael Walters, but such a loved figure at Fremantle. Give him this moment. Embraced with Justin Longmuir too. Michael Walters, a favourite son of Freo's, second all-time goals with 365, seventh for the games with 239. Many accolades across a career, and the emotion evident for the Fremantle champ. Terrific game of footy. And pause now to pay tribute to a retiring champion of Fremantle.
All right, boys. Hey, we'll come back to them in a minute. They're just watching him walk through there, which is all done. But there we go. It was the Dockers, Eddie G, and everyone in the chat who was the Purple Army was in force tonight. That's my hand. Absolutely, the Purple Army. Well, not all of us are Freo supporters, but we'll certainly cheer on the Freo team on tonight. And we'll show you the ladder in a moment to see where Freo now sit on the AFL ladder. Premiership season 2025. 12-5-77, defeating the Hawks 9-10-64. Dockers by 13. I tell you what, they did fantastic. They kept the Hawks to only 2 behinds in that final term, but the Dockers, wowee, 4 goals, 4 in the final term. That's what they had to do. I think that's probably the best quarter of football I've seen the Dockers play this season. That's exactly what we were talking about at 3/4 time. I tell you what, this team needs to come out, show their grit. They need to put pressure on. That's exactly what they did. They got their running game going. They got their pressure going. They got in at the contest instead of hanging around for it. This is all the little things that they did, and this is what got the Dockers over the line today, especially, well, Switkowski. I tell you what, he was pretty good, and Tracy in that last quarter. But hats off to all the Dockers players in that final quarter. They were absolutely sensational. Of course, it was a nervous finish there for Eddie G, being a big of course, mine heart. It was certainly nervous time for them in the last quarter, of course, ticking away, but fantastic. Of course, Tracy sticking through that big goal from about 40, 45 out on about a 40-degree angle. Fantastic slotted through, gave the Dockers a little bit of breather. Whew, 13 points, you little beauty. I tell you what, I think everyone in the footy community is pretty happy that the Dockers got the job done today. Let's just have a look at some of the stats while we're waiting for the commentators and the Freo theme song down there. Let's run through the goal scorer, Swiskowski. I tell you what, he was fantastic. He was fantastic. Saved some real dangerous ball in that last quarter. Make no mistakes, Freo fans. Sam Swiskowski was sensational in that last quarter, kicking 3 straight goals. Frederick also was great in that last quarter, kicking 2. Shy Bolton, Amiss with 2. Paddy Voss was good also with the 1 goal. Josh Tracy with the 1, and Sean Darcy with the 1. For the Hawks, Connor McDonald had 2 goals with Calsher Dear. Nick Watson just the 1. Dylan Moore, Manganus, Gunston, Ginnivan were the goal scorers. There we go, looking at the ball magnets. Jordan Clark for the Dockers, best there with 31 touches. Only 2 players in the 30, and he was one of them. Of course, Carla Mon was the other for Hawthorn with 30 touches. Caleb Sarong, there we go, and Andy Brayshaw, both 29. Great games. That's what they needed. They need their big guns to stand up and bring the rest of their team into play, and that's exactly what they did, the playmakers. Ginnivan, a pretty good game there from Ginnivan for the Hawks. He definitely tried with 27. Luke Ryan with 22. Matty Johnson with 21 there. Who else? We got Sicily there for the Hawks on 21. Shy Bolton, pretty good today, certainly with 19 touches, 2 goals, 1. Did really well. 4 clearances, 3 tackles also for him. Let's roll down. As I said, Sam Swiskowski, he was fantastic in that final quarter for the Dockers. He should get some praise, that is for sure. 16 touches, 6 kicks, 10 handballs, 2 marks. 3 tackles, a clearance, 3 goals. Brilliant game from him. All right, let's keep going down. I tell you what, Luke Jackson stood up really well for the Dockers in that final term too. 13, 31 hit-outs. He was really good, as was Frederick in that final. Tell you what, Frederick, he was composed running through that centre when he, I think it was it Tracy he hit up? Or I think it was someone like that, and resulted in a goal. But he showed composure. He also was very good. Blake Hardwick was 13 with Tom Barras there for the Hawks. Lloyd Meek on 11. Gunston got one in the opening term. That's all. So he was well held. So well done to the Freo defence there. Job well done. Nicky Watson only ended up with 8 touches, 1 goal, 1. He tried to set him alight, but I tell you what, that pressure in the final term, that rundown chase, I tell you what, it could have been what got it for him there. All right, let's have a quick look at the team stats because we want to head down to the rooms and listen on in. You like Sam Mitchell's long press conference? Yeah, we might get there. I'm not sure. There we go. 25 plus disposals to the Hawks. Just looking at the inside 50s. There we go. Free kicks ended up going in the way of Fremantle. You know what? Even though some of them were iffy, it was definitely a lot better umpired in that final term for some reason. I don't know. Maybe the 16th umpire had a word and say, hey, let's just umpire this a little bit better. So that's what happened. It was 23-18. Dockers were +5 there. Definitely a lot better. I know I missed something here. What did I miss? Nothing. Stoppages. Hit-outs. Dockers were by 8. Clearances, pretty tidy. +1 of the Dockers. Centre clearances, both teams had it. Stoppage clearances, +1 to the Dockers. Contested possessions. Hawthorn +20. There we go. High turnover game. It was a high pressure game. Fantastic. The marks were pretty even. Marks inside 50. Good to see. Dockers on 10 and 8. Both teams got it. Just want to have a look at that tackles. This is what we're talking about. Have a look at this. 103. Talk about pressure. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's head down to the rooms for the theme song.
Take a listen to the song.
Way to go! In a real high, sit down below. Oh, Freo, we are the Freo Dockers. Freo, way to go! In a real high, sit down below. Oh, Freo, we are the Freo Dockers.
All right, there we go. I think that might be about all we're going to get from them. That's all right. As I was saying back here, folks, to tell you what, have a look at this number. I don't think I've ever seen a team have over 100 tackles in a game. 100! Freo Dockers, you brought the pressure. I tell you what, I'm going to have to, Addy G, I'm going to have to rewind this after I finish and just have a look at the tackle count at 3/4 time. That's something I'm going to do because that is monster numbers. 103. They were plus 26 tackles overall. Both teams tackled well, but 103. Geez, I tell you what, that's got to be near a record. I haven't seen triple figures in tackles. 16-25, plus 9 Hawks inside 50 tackles, but that number certainly rose. That tackle count is just incredible. That half leaves you speechless there. All right, let's head on over to Adrian's favourite part and everyone's favourite part. Let's load up the ladder. All right, there we go. After only 3 games to go in round 18, it is official. It is official. Fremantle are into the top 8. They are back into the top 8 where they belong. Would never imagine the Western Bulldogs to be out of the 8, but Fremantle are in the top 8. They are equal fourth on the ladder. It's only percentage separating them. Well, that percentage is probably about a game. But that was how important last week's win was to Freo. If they'd have beaten Sydney, they would have been up there. They would have been sitting in fourth. But all you can do, as I said, is worry about your own team winning and don't really worry too much about what other teams do, like that happened to Fremantle last year. All the pressure was off them, and then all they had to do was win. So this is all you have to do. You just got to keep winning and winning. But there we go, Freo in the top 8, back there. That is great news, and a lot of top 8 sides will be glad to see a Western Bulldogs sort of out because they're a pretty tough team. Hawthorn, well, there you go. You drop down to 6th position now, 44 points. I tell you what, you're only 7% above Fremantle, and of course the Giants are only 3.8% above Freo as well. So the percentages here, folks, they're all super tight. So you've got to, when you have wins and you start to get a margin, you need to put teams away because that's going to be so important come the end of the home and away season where you sit, as we were saying, positions 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, all sitting on 11 wins. Of course, Gold Coast has got that extra game in hand. You'd probably expect them to beat Essendon in that extra game. I still don't know when they're going to play it, but there we go. But all you can do is win. There we go. So you are up to 8th, Freo. Well done. Hawthorn dropped down to 6th. We'll head back down to the rooms in just a minute when they have a little bit of a chit-chat, chin-wag to some of the other. Hey, don't forget tomorrow, Melbourne games coming up tomorrow. Melbourne taking on North Melbourne, St Kilda taking on Sydney, and Port Adelaide taking on the West Coast Eagles. Now I'm just going to pop over and just have a look at... I just need to bring this up and I'll let you know who these two teams are playing next week. Of course, the Dockers and the Hawks. Well, the Hawthorn, another reasonably tough game next week. It could go either way as well because Hawthorn next Saturday are heading down to Tasmania in Launceston where they're going to take on Port Adelaide. So that could be an interesting game. Hawks need to win this without a question, shadow of a doubt. They need to win it. Their finals campaign depend on it. But Port Adelaide with Kenny Hinkley, they'll be wanting to win for him every game they can for the rest of the season. Of course, for Freo next week, Freo supporters, I tell you what, it's probably going to be a super duper tough assignment. You need to travel. You need to travel to Melbourne. You need to travel to where the big stage, the big dance is being held, and that is at the MCG. Next Sunday, 3:15, you're taking on Collingwood next Sunday. Can you believe it? Holy moly, next Sunday the games run into each other again. What do? Do I play them and just play the last 3 quarters of Collingwood Dockers? I just might have to miss out a quarter of Collingwood and Dockers and play Geelong and St Kilda full game. Then run over to Collingwood Dockers, and then run over to Adelaide Suns next week. But I tell you what, that's a couple of tough games coming up for these teams next week. The Dockers take on Collingwood, and of course Hawthorn take on Port Adelaide. But let's not worry about that. Let's celebrate right now for Fremantle's fantastic victory here. Round 18, 2025, the Dockers, one of the games of the season for them. I tell you what, it was a real topsy-turvy, a ring-a-ding-ding game. This was a ring-a-ding-ding game, folks. I tell you what, it was the Dockers out of the box. Hawthorn came back. Dockers back out of the box. Hawthorn took control. The Dockers again fought back. Hawthorn, we thought we were going to half run away with it, but the Dockers said no. And this showed the grit and the fight and the perseverance, especially in that last quarter when they could have easily said, you know what, it's okay, we give up. But they didn't. They fought. They lifted their game tenfold in that final quarter and got the job done. My gosh, fantastic win tonight. Did you grade from now, Unsa? Freo getting smashed next Sunday. Look, maybe, you never know. But, my tip is it's going to be a cracker. I tell you what, if Freo bring that type of game they played in the last quarter next week and played after, say, 3.5 quarters, there'll be a chance of probably only going down by about 25 points. But hey, all seriousness aside, this is what we hope, and this is why I always say, Eddie, it's good to play the good sides running into the finals, because this toughens you up and shows you what you really need to do and how to play against the good sides. You don't want to be running into the finals playing teams that are 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's no good. That's no good. You need to play the good sides, like Hawthorn, and you need to be able to know how to get the job done in the situations that you found yourself in that final quarter. And that's what we're talking about. That's how you need to do it. All right, hey, let's hey, that's enough of me talking anyway. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Ciao for now. We'll see you. But I won't end it now. I'll just put it down to the commentators. And we'll just have a listen to all the things they've got to say about the game.
But if you can block up a 4-week block and win 3 out of 4, that's normally your goal when you're chasing finals. But now it's getting real, isn't it? Like every game really matters.
Is it going to take 14 wins this year?
It feels very high.
I know it does, but I mean, we saw it last year was 13.5 perhaps, or certainly 13 to get in. So, I mean, that's why every win, particularly in an arm wrestle like that where it could have really gone either way, it's such a crucial win as the players, Kath, finally come back out after a team meeting.
Finally.
You would think 14 wins might be required from Fremantle with their percentage.
Yes.
The lowest percentage out of anyone in the top 8 at the moment. They may be the club that has to get to that point.
We've got one of the stars of the game coming in, Kath.
How good to have come straight in, Caleb Sarong. Congratulations on the win. Super to have you straight off the team meeting. What did JL have to say following that enormous win?
It was a lot more like us. I think if last week and this week and the stark contrast between the two doesn't show everyone the kind of footy we want to stand for and they want to play, and doesn't show us internally the kind of footy we want to play, then I don't know what will. I think the difference, the way it felt out there, the connection, the way we played for each other, I think you would have seen a lot more of a connected group tonight, not fighting our own battles, we're in it together, and that shows in a lot of different aspects. But I think what was most pleasing was the pressure that we brought tonight, and the way that we were able to put them under pressure, and they're a bloody good side, and we're able to keep them under pressure the most of the night. You talk about pressure, it's one of the first times you've had 100+ tackles. Can you remember a game where you've had more than 100 tackles playing in that jumper? No, it's we're usually a lot lower than that, and it's a focus for us. A big focus is trying to get more tackle attempts. First and foremost, you've got to get tackle attempts to be able to lay the tackles, and then sticking them is another thing. But we want to get our tackle attempts up, and that shows intent, and then the execution comes second to that. So the way we're able, if we laid 100 tonight, we would have had a lot more. 103, I think it was 103. So it was a massive night of pressure. I wonder what the amount of attempts we had. It would have been a lot more than that. So it was one of those nights they brought a lot of pressure as well, and it's scrappy, but we stuck in it. And maturity in the last quarter, I mean, 13 points down, in the huddle, 3/4 time, anything done differently, or was it just double down on what you've been doing? We know, like the coaches have set us up so well in terms of scenario training. We train a lot. A lot's been made of the way we finish games in the last year or two, and the way we've grown in that space, in my opinion, and it's tough. Like the other team's trying to do the exact opposite as what you're doing, so you're not going to execute it perfectly every single time, and we're just trying to control what we control in those moments. And credit to JR and the rest of the coaching staff. They've given us all the tools that we need, and it's on us now to go execute. And felt like some of the, especially the stuff down back of Lukey Ryan and Jordan Clark, to be able to set up the way we wanted, to get that spare behind the ball late in that game, the way they were doing different things, I think it showed a lot of maturity, and we're growing in that space.
You being tagged is always a hot topic in the lead up to any game. Take us through this week. So you obviously had quite a game against Sydney last week, and then all the talk is about who's going to tag you and whether how many disposals you get and the impact that has on the team performance. How do you mentally prepare for it?
A lot of different chats. It was a heavy week on chats with my group, my close circle that I really rely on it's not an individual game. I don't go out there on the weekend and perform just on the back of stuff I do. I rely on different people in my circle that really help me, and I relied on those people this week. I had some great chats to rely on those and get some advice, but in the end, like, there's a part of going and fighting it yourself, and there's a part of doing it together, and there's different things that last week happened that it just created a perfect storm for different stuff that we didn't execute as a group and I didn't execute as an individual, and I take accountability of what I do in that part, and aside from that, like, the team just wants to play better as well. So I'm a big believer, and if the team plays well, I'm going to be a beneficiary of that, and everyone is.
Who's in your group? Give us a couple of the names. They may not be players, they may also be coaches, but who's in your group? Who's in your core group?
I rely on JL and Joel Corey this week, head coach and midfield coach. They're great supporters of mine, and guys that I can go to and speak to, and if we're not on the same page around plans, leaves, I'm going to pull different things, then there's no point going out there and trying to execute it, because they're got to be on the same page. And then the big fella, Big Fifey, was a good one this week. He's dealt with it time and time again. He's been through it all, so he was a big one. And then a couple other people that I'll leave nameless.
You must have been relieved though he didn't get tagged tonight. So at the end of the day, I mean, you prepare for it, and you'd have different levers, but to let your game just naturally play out would have been a little bit of a relief as well. It's
different. Like you go into a game, and like my opinion on it is that you prepare for it and you expect it, and if it doesn't come, then sweet. But I'm going in with the mindset of it's going to be a great challenge, and I'm looking forward to it. And whatever it looks like. I can only do what I can do, and that's the way I look at it.
Just a quick one on Justin Longmuir. I mean, he's got a bit of criticism throughout the season, but how did you guys feel this week and wanting to really get this win for him?
He set the week up so well. I'll give him a lot of credit for this week. Last week it was a tough trip. We didn't play the way we wanted to. There was a lot of little things that didn't go our way, and we didn't commit to that we really want to. And the way he was able to keep it really stable at the start of the week, and just kind of composed at the front end of the week. He wasn't reactionary. He wasn't kind of making any sweeping changes or changing the way. It's just the process. And then the way he set up the Hawks game, and the way he set up the way that we want to attack that ourselves, and what we want to outplan. Yeah, credit to him. I think you would have seen a team that went out there with a plan tonight and executed it really well.
Credit to you all. Go and enjoy this with your family and friends. Really appreciate your time,
awesome.
Caleb.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Caleb Strong, one of the superstars of the game, good enough to join us on Super Saturday Live. We've also got the chief football writer at the Herald Sun, Jay Clark, in our Fox Footy studios, and he joins us now. Jay, what are your headlines coming out of this match tonight? It was a great contest.
Yes, good evening, Kath. Well, the Hawks started the season as one of the premiership fancies, didn't they? But now they've got a fight on their hands just to even make the 8. As you said, they are right in the middle of that finals logjam, and they're going to have to win at least 3, potentially 4 of their last 6 games. And it is a tough run home for the Hawks. They've got Adelaide, Collingwood and Brisbane, 3 of the top sides in it, in 3 of their last 4 weeks. It makes the next 2 against Port Adelaide and Carlton absolute must-win games, and it reignites one of the best rivalries in football between Hawthorn and the Port Adelaide Football Club on Saturday in Launceston. We know, Kath, these 2 clubs do not like each other. There was the Ken Hinkley playing job late last year, the 20k fine, and then Willie Rioli, the anger there, the historical issues and the social media dig as well. So they'll reunite on Saturday. There'll be a lot of feeling, a lot of passion. Hawthorn simply has to win, but Sam Mitchell has some thinking to do, because some of his big young key forwards are banging down the selection possession door in the VFL today. Mitch Lewis kicked 5 goals and Max Ramsden 4, so 9 between them. They're putting the pressure on Calsher Dear tonight, who had 2 goals from 8 touches, and Marbior Chol just the 7 touches with 1 behind. So some big thinking or some selection decisions there, conundrums for the coach, Sam Mitchell. Another thing which is back under the spotlight tonight by the Hawks is Nick Watson's ducking tactics and techniques. Now, this has been a contentious issue all year. You can see here the AFL hates that. The leading with the head. Watson clearly drops at the knees, leads in, tries to draw the free kick, and Luke Ryan very pointed there with Nick Watson saying, you will not get past me there. So the AFL hates that. That'll continue to be a big issue. But a big couple of weeks coming home from the Hawks who have a tough one home to finals, Kath.
Yeah, what a cracking 6 rounds to go. We can look forward to in the season. We will cross back to Jay Clark for the rest of the day's news later. Your thoughts on the Nick Watson ducking?
I think it's dangerous to him, and I think it's a tactic that the umpires are now onto. As soon as some player starts dropping or pushes in the back or whatever, they talk about it, and you were with the umpires recently, and I think it's something that he needs to look into.
Well, the decision making is so hard now with the high tackle. It used to just be, is it high? Now it's, is the arm getting lifted? Are they ducking into it? Are they dropping their legs? And the quicker we can get that out of the game, and the better for his own safety. He didn't need to do it. He doesn't need to drop his legs. He can just go straight and he'll get the free kick. So, you know, the kids watch these games. They try and emulate their stars, and we just don't want juniors doing that. And it's slowly creeping into the competition more and more.
As you said, though, it's also dangerous to
him, yeah. That could actually cause an injury, which we know concussion and all the things that are talked about at the moment, Cass. So stamp it out.
It was a Saturday night doubleheader over at the MCG. Whilst this match was taking place, it was Richmond and Essendon. The Tigers got home by 9 points. Gary Lyon and Brad Johnson were covering it for Fox Footy. Over to them.
Richmond Football Club have enjoyed their 4th win for the season in rather extraordinary circumstances, Brad Johnson. It was a strange old game, 3 goals apiece. I just want to run through the scoreline. 3 goals apiece in the first quarter, no goals to either side in the second quarter, no goals to Richmond in the third, 1 goal to Essendon, and then 3 goals to Richmond in the last quarter, and they ran away with it and ran over the top of the Bombers. It was an unbelievable game of footy.
It was bizarre, it really was. The first quarter was quite good from both teams. It was there was mistakes happening, but at least there was scores on the board.
These are the 3 last quarter goals that secured victory. Taranto kicks one from just outside 50. Hopper kicks the banana, and then this one, the sealer here, which involved a little...
All right, boys, that's it. We'll end off this coverage here. They're just wrapping on about the Essendon-Richmond game where the Tigers got up in a low-scoring victory. There we go. Fantastic. All right, Eddie G, Manny, and everyone else that's still in the live chat, thanks for hanging on in here. Oh, I forgot to end the poll. And, of course, there we go. The poll's there now. 75% of the live chat went for the Dockers. Well done. Well done. We got the poll right. It was pretty well Dockers. From back quarter time onwards, I think, we had the Dockers in front on the poll. So, everyone, congratulations. Well done. We got it right again. But, yeah, I might leave this coverage off now because we'll be back tomorrow. It's time to go and get a coffee and relax my chops for a little bit. A little bit too much talking, and we'll let Eddie G go out and celebrate another fantastic Dockers victory. At least enjoy it for a week, Squire. At least enjoy it for a week. But, yeah, they were good. Very impressive tonight. And I think Fremantle will be a good place to be this week. Head on down the street, Eddie G, maybe tomorrow, and you can... I tell you what, there'll be a lot of people with smiles in their face talking about the Fremantle Dockers and how good they were in this victory tonight over Hawthorn by 13 points. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, Dockers. All right, boys. All right, folks. That's all I got for this one. I'm out. We'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget, I think it all kicks off at about 1 p.m. tomorrow, Melbourne time. Melbourne taking on North Melbourne. We should be able to cover those games. Yeah, I'll probably do the footy instead of the NRL. Let's do the footy. Why not? Why not? All right, boys and ladies and gentlemen. Till tomorrow. Ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game.